You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair and Mazz in the midday.
In the midday.
This is June 29th, 2022, Wednesday edition. Welcome back for another show. Anthony Cafone, Brandon Morazzo, Connor Cupin, and
a special guest who needs to know that we are, in fact, your auntie's favorite sports talk show. Everybody, the man, the myth, the legend, the host of MatchWeek himself, Ardi.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? You are listening top of the hour on WMC Upper Montclair.
Well,
you steal my top of the hour, I steal yours. That's how it works.
Hey, it was actually
from my one show.
This is copyright infringement.
No, so I made a joke on my show. I wanted to clarify this before I left today. So I got some MatchWeek magnets, and I've been handing them out to people because you know what? Magnets are cool. You either go in your car or they go on the fridge. And I made a joke on my show that had said, oh, you know what? I'm now your auntie's favorite sports show because I'm on a refrigerator with the magnet.
Did he just start the radio show wars?
The sports talk radio war?
The sports talk radio war.
Oh, my God. We'll be better than WCW versus WWF, bro. It'll be crazy.
The WMSC Sports Civil War.
That's
Civil War.
100%.
The thing is, though,
and
you
just
guys,
like that, we got thrown off the air.
Yeah, but the thing is, you guys are definitely going to outnumber me because like, everyone's like, oh, yeah, we like those guys. Who's Ardi? Because nobody knows me.
Ardi, we love you. I
am so incognito at this radio station. It's actually crazy.
Dude, we're part of the sports team. We are, in fact, the definition of incognito. Everybody else here is winning awards, and we're slowly, our great director, Coach Cam Martin, will be on later. We're trying to build things up and get to the level that this beautiful
I do have to say,
out.
as an official announcement, MatchWeek has finally hit over 300 listeners now.
Hey, congratulations
I'm actually surprised
to
about.
MatchWeek.
I don't know why.
Plug yourself shamelessly.
Well, okay, first off, I give you guys shout-outs nonstop on my show. I even play your show-mo, even when Mazz is on.
Listen, we appreciate everything that you do, Ardi, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. Just like with Ben Jarreau, just like with Jack Bartek. We'd probably be here without Connor, but we still appreciate him coming.
And
Big J, we wouldn't be here without Big J.
So I do have to leave in a bit because Dayon, one of the co-hosts, I do have to drive him back to Patterson.
Right before you leave,
yeah,
obviously everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
We don't talk soccer here, but when we do, it's important news.
Okay.
We want to know where the GOAT's going. Cristiano Ronaldo, is he staying with Man United? Is he out? Being the Man United fan, what's going on here?
So real quick, the GOAT as or the LeBron James of soccer, dude.
No, dude, he's a Michael Jordan of soccer. But continue.
Oh no,
it's a meme.
Dominate.
No, it's a meme because some
just get off my show right now.
Just real quick, some American reporter was like talking to him, and he was like, because let's be real, like for you guys, if you were to say for a certain player, if we were to be like, oh, he's like this X, Y, and Z greatest player, and you'll be like, huh? But if we're like, he's a LeBron James of soccer, dude, you like totally understand, you know. But United is just a big problem. They have nothing going on. They're a bit in a loop right now. They're organizing themselves with a new manager. And yeah, Ronaldo, it depends what happens this season, because if there's a chance that if United somehow turns it around, qualifies for Champions League, he might extend for one more year. But if not, I pray to the Lord, Inshallah, Zoti Shindet, we get Cristiano Ronaldo to New York Red Bulls.
The New York Red Bulls?
I would love if he came to New York.
No, it's not coming together. I don't want to see Ronaldo in the MLS.
What? Why not?
Why would you want to see Ronaldo in the MLS?
Because I'm selfish. My brother works for the Red Bulls. I now get free tickets because of him, and I want my chance to see Ronaldo week in, week out. I'm sorry.
Listen, that's fine, and I would love to see Ronaldo week in and week out, but he still has so much to offer.
He's too good for the MLS.
Yeah, for 38 years old, it's crazy.
For 38 years old, we've never seen anything like this before.
We had Zlatan.
And also, Zlatan, David Beckham, two guys who were the
But listen to this. Zlatan went to the MLS, was like, this is too boring. Went back to the city, played 6 months without an ACL to help them win the Scudetto. Like,
crazy.
Insane.
But that's fine, though. Ronaldo's still putting up...
Yeah, but here's my question. Name me, like, an American athlete who would risk their body like that for, like, an NBA title or for a World Series or for the big game, you know?
No one. Vince Carter played forever.
I caught myself. I almost said it. I really said it.
I know you did. But that's the thing. It's like Tom Brady is basically the equivalent to Ronaldo essentially.
Well, like supposedly, because he was at that one game where you saw Ronaldo playing, where he scored the hat trick against Spurs. And
Tom Brady, Hotspurs for all of you out there.
For Tottenham
not
Hotspurs.
Not San Antonio.
Not San Antonio. Ronaldo did not score a basket against San Antonio. No. So he was there in the audience attending, and he realized, like, you know what? I still got one more year in me. I still got this. Why am I gonna stop playing?
I don't know. I'm not sold on the Man United rebuild next season. I think it's coming. I think Ten Hag's a great pickup. who's going to want to necessarily go there right now. It's going to be younger players. The GOAT doesn't have much more years. I'd like to see him competing at the highest level in Champions League. I would love to see him go somewhere.
So here's the thing. So I've had this discussion with people so many times, and they yell at me and they get mad at me because they. So I'm gonna say this right now. I think Ronaldo going back to United was probably the worst mistake in his career.
Yeah, I'm with you. He should have went to City.
Don't get me wrong. I love Cristiano Ronaldo. Like one of my idols growing up watching. I think he's the best ever, better than Messi. Hot take, sorry, but
not a hot take. That's facts.
Yeah, facts on the midday, exactly.
Facts on
the midday.
No, I'm telling you right now, Ronaldo is like Jordan. Messi is like LeBron. So that's where you look at it.
Real quick, we should really have a sound effect here. It's just like facts every time we say something. You know.
I mean,
Ardi, if you get that, we'll use it.
That's that sound effect.
Okay, we'll go with that. Yeah.
Don't be booing me. Like Ardi, just that's straight facts. That comparison I just gave you. It depends on what you'd rather like, and that's where that GOAT debate goes. We do not have time for that debate because we'll be here the entire 2 hours. Yeah. But anyway, Ardi, I do like the take of that. Where would you have liked to see him gone if he not going back to United?
I mean, the
Chelsea.
The one that made the most sense was Man City for him. But that would have been so disrespectful to Manchester United when you made your career there, and they're still even though they haven't been great, they're still considered a superstar entity.
Ardi, I'm gonna ask you this real quick. Do you think Chelsea, that new ownership group, would offer Ronaldo a big contract?
Well, we were actually just talking about it on MatchWeek. Chelsea are in for some big players. They're in for Raheem Sterling, who's a big national team player, big player in England, a really respectful guy. They're in for the likes of Rafinha, a big up-and-coming talent. Chelsea are deadly, and we have to watch out for them because they can sneak up on you easy, and they've been one of the bigger clubs within the past 2 decades. They were on the same level as United when United were a big club, and they've been able to hold on to it with how great of an ownership group they've had in the past, and even the new one that's coming in now. So that's the thing. American owners, they can either be great or they can be horrendous. They can either be like the Glazers for Manchester United, or they could be the guy who just signed for Chelsea, or the FSG group, the Fenway group, like how they've been able to run Liverpool. Like, America is taking over. We have to watch out. They're getting in everywhere.
And last thing, where you just talked about America taking over, where do you see the MLS being within the next 20 years?
The same as it is if we don't have promotion relegation.
So you think that's the key to if they do get promotion relegation, do you think that there's a chance of the soccer culture building even further in this country?
Well, yeah, because here's the thing, right? The NBA gets away with only having franchises and being good because it's so exhilarating. Like myself, I'm not the biggest NBA guy. Like I won't sit there and watch a whole entire game week in and week out.
Yep.
But it's still, just like soccer, it is still one of those like cinematic sports. Like when you watch a 30 for 30, when you watch The Last Dance, just like soccer, if you watch something that passes about it, like you're out of nowhere like the biggest NBA fanatic. Like when Last Dance came out, everybody just like decided like, oh, Bucko, like I'm the guy. I know everything about the NBA now. But it's like I know everything. I listen to Scottie Pippen talk about it. But no, like that's the only sport I can see in the country that can equal the love that the Europeans have for soccer because of how global the sport still is. Because we see players coming in from Spain, from Africa, from Croatia, like all over. So that's the only other sport I can see below soccer as international sport.
Yeah, so what does the MLS need to do? Last thing here. I know you got to get going. What does the MLS need to do to get to the level that a Prem is at, that a Premier League is at? It's going to take time. It's going to take a bunch of time. Do you see it ever happening, and what do they need it to do to happen?
I think it depends where the money is, personally. Because there's so much money in the Prem because of viewership and how that goes. Like, if we look at the money in the NFL, right? Like, what the contracts are able to offer, that has to be at disposal for the MLS. But then the issue is that the MLS teams aren't private entities. Like, they're franchises, but they're all under the commission. Mm-hmm. And that's one of my biggest gripes. I hope you guys have me back on for the MatchWeek X Midday collab, where we'll talk about franchise versus relegation promotion. But for example, the NFL are even slightly thinking about it because they have the XFL, they have the USFL.
I don't think it ever happens.
And they also have the NFL.
MLS has. I mean, there's the NASL, right?
USL.
Yeah, they have the USL, NASL.
Yeah.
They have at least four or five lower leagues.
Yeah, but they're not. any way connected at all.
Well, no, it's just because they're so spread out, right? Because like that's the difference between England, right? England is a small country. Like you have a 4-hour drive max if you have
And you
to
get
go
across
all
the
way
whole
across.
country, yeah.
Whereas if you drive 4 hours, you're maybe making it to upstate New York if you're lucky, you know.
You can drive in Florida by itself for 7 hours.
Yes. Don't even got to get into Texas. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you'll barely make it anywhere. That's why that's why I agree with conferences. I agree with having Eastern and Western Conference. That makes sense.
Okay.
But introducing that, because let's be real, right? If a team does poorly, they're like I mentioned The Last Dance again because I feel like that's the only thing that I feel like everyone can relate on because it's the most seen thing everyone has watched, even if you're a casual sports fan. When Jordan had that year where he messed up his ankle, right? I think it was something in his knee or his ankle, like where he was injured.
Which year?
80,
Was it 97?
In the 80s?
Oh,
85.
So he broke his
85.
foot.
Yeah,
He broke his foot. Like on the top of his foot.
And then, the Bulls had a slight chance of making it to the playoffs, but they purposely were only holding Jordan to a certain amount of time because they didn't want to make it to the playoffs. They were playing for the draft pick. And so that's, I think, the only gripe that American sports has is that a lot of these teams, there's no repercussions. Like we were just talking about it. We were just talking about it on MatchWeek. If you have promotion relegation, like Burnley is getting relegated, they're losing out on hundreds of millions of dollars in promotional money that they can reinvest into the club. Like these teams that come up from the championship, no one understands how much it actually affects them within ticket sales, TV rights, money. It's big.
But here's the thing, Ardi. The one sport league that tanking really isn't a factor in is baseball. Like you don't really see. I mean, you see a little bit of it. Like owners are don't really purposely tank, but they just do it for the money. They don't do it to get better players.
Yeah, but the thing
don't
is,
really
it's like
tank.
baseball. I think I love baseball. Don't get me wrong. Like I love the MLB. I could sit there watch 9 innings of baseball easy. I grew up on it. Love it. But it's not like baseball is only really competitive when it comes to the playoffs of the World Series.
No, you can say it. You can
Okay,
say
World Series. Okay.
You can say it.
When it comes to the World Series, right? The World Series is the apex, the pinnacle of baseball. It's the same thing with soccer. Everyone tunes in to the Champions League. Champions League is the pinnacle of soccer.
I think the World Cup.
No, I'd argue it's the Champions League.
No, the Champions
I
League.
think
because you gotta
the World
understand
Cup-
it's yearly.
Yeah,
like
that's the
people
difference.
thrive for yearly competitions. The World Cup is every
I
4
guess,
years.
but
patriotism.
that's what makes it more special.
Well, here's the thing, though. I get what you're saying, but with the World Cup, it's basically you can't necessarily. I mean, there's ways around it, but you can't necessarily choose
Who you play for.
Who you play for, you know. So certain countries can only get to certain levels with certain with like the talent, you know. There's other countries that like they give like citizenship and there's like easier
Visas
ways to
and
get
stuff
it
like
if
that,
like
yeah,
your
yeah.
parent is from there or something.
That was the same thing that happened
But
with
where these
Olympics,
clubs, basically the bigger ones have almost unlimited money. You're talking like a Man City, a PSG, and they can literally put as much money as they want to into building this. So you legitimately have the best teams in football going at each other.
But then that's also where you still have those fairy tale stories, like when it is. I have to get this last point. I have to leave. When it is, for example, in Ajax in 2018.
Yep.
Where they were seen as like a feeder rotation, youth level club.
Yep.
They're not really seen as one of the better teams, and they're seen as the lower level side. And when they come in and almost make it to the final, it's the equivalent of, let's say the Marlins. Let's say the Marlins made it to a World Series.
Out of all the teams.
But that's what I'm saying, dude.
No,
Imagine.
Connor's our residential
no,
Marlins
he's not.
fan.
Yes, I'm
Yes,
the
he
resident
is.
fish
That
fan.
is so funny. I'm sorry for the disrespect, but
Nah.
Nope, I'm not.
It's
Keep
all
it going.
good.
yeah, but like,
Perfect. It's
dude,
perfect.
but like, just imagine if the Marlins made it to the World Series somehow.
They did it. They've done it 2 times. They won 2
They
World
took the
Series.
Yankees.
Yeah,
in the
but
World Series.
how long ago?
Oh,
was
yeah,
it?
good one.
2003.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Within the past decade, imagine them making it back. You know.
Yeah. I mean, they made the playoffs a few years ago.
I
but
mean,
yeah,
Sandy Alcantara is looking pretty nasty.
Sandy Alcantara.
Okay.
Pablo Lopez.
My bad.
What? No, I'm just saying. I agree with you.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they're gonna win, that they gotta keep him.
Yeah.
So, guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. Hopefully, I'll be back for more. I have to leave because I have to take my co-host back home. He's relying on me. I'll see you guys. Have a good one.
Hey guys,
This is your auntie's favorite sports talk show. Tune in to Aunt Mazz in
Or
Midday.
if you want to.
If you want
If
to.
you want to.
No, you must.
Oh,
They're making an option. I'm saying you have no choice. When you're done with
Ardi,
MatchWeek from 10 to
Ardi,
12,
Ardi.
you tune in
Ardi,
to the show.
we
12 to
legally
2.
cannot say that. So if you want to, we legally cannot say that.
Okay, so
That is completely if you
I'm
want
just
to.
making jokes. I'm not being serious. You don't have to tune in if you
No,
don't want
there's
to.
no call to actions here.
Yeah, there's no call to
If you
actions.
wanted to listen to soccer,
to end Mazz in the Midday.
if you wanted to listen to soccer, we do have a show called MatchWeek that I personally think is fantastic. And after that, if you want every other sport, you can come to your auntie's favorite sports talk show. And Mazz Midday. That's on you. But we appreciate the support.
Yeah, we
Here
appreciate
at
you guys helping
90.3
us. Yes,
WMSC
exactly.
Upper Montclair. This is Ardi Amini, and this is Mazz in the Midday.
And
Real quick.
Estamos no es match week. That's what
That
it
was
says.
no S match.
Estamos
This
no
is
S
not
match. This is not
Real
match.
quick,
We are not match.
I'll see you guys. I love you guys. Have a good one.
Can we get a round of
Peace out.
applause for Ardi Amini real quick? Not Connor, we have a sound effect for that if our
No,
guy
I
could
got
ever
it. Don't
get
worry.
there.
I
Tip
got
tip
this.
today, Junior.
Well, at least you
I
guys
gotta
just
do it
sound
before you
effects.
say
And
sound
too
effects.
late.
I don't use sound effects.
All right, that's Ardi Amini, guys.
Thank you so much, Artie, for coming by. But now, with our soccer talk over, let's head over to some NBA talk.
Well, I was just gonna say, speaking of money being thrown around, the New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson. What is going on here? I'm hearing upwards of $110 million for a guy that should be paid no more than $17.5 a year. They're about to give this guy upwards of 20 plus, and he's a wing. Like, he's a good wing player, a good perimeter defender.
He's a ball handler.
Yeah, okay, fair. But is he worth this money?
If you can't play defense,
Can we get his mic on?
You went to the mic that wasn't on, dude.
you know
I don't
we
blame
do
him.
the funny things around here.
Listen, we got to mix it up sometimes. I love already coming on, but sticking with the Jalen Brunson talk. And how do you feel?
So Jalen Brunson, he could be a third star on a championship team. I'm just gonna say it right there. I don't think he could be a second star because we saw this year. I mean, he's a solid third scoring option. He gives you this season alone. He gave you 16 points per game on pretty decent shooting. I mean, he was shooting 37% from three and 50% from the field. So this guy has shown that he could be a pretty decent scorer in this league. He doesn't get as many shots because he's in a system with Luka Doncic, and let's face it, Luka Doncic is putting up 25 shots a game.
Generational.
So Jalen Brunson hasn't shown that he can have production. So this is probably his option if he does get a contract like this to show if he could be a number one scoring option. Do I think he can be? We'll see. I don't know if he's worth upwards of $100 million. He hasn't shown it yet, but I think a nice like $75, $80 million contract is a good start for him.
Yeah, I'm with you there, but they're legitimately talking about the bidding war happening with Dallas is expecting to give him 22 a year, which comes out to 110. The Knicks have already expressed interest. They just hired his father because apparently
Wow.
Tibbs and Leon Rose go back years with his father, who's, I don't know the father's name, but he's an assistant coach now. And I think Jalen Brunson's going to New York. But this is a guy who has not broke 20 points. He's been in the league 4 years, which isn't necessarily a long time, but the market demands you giving a guy this caliber who is solid. I'm not saying this is not a guy I wouldn't want on my roster. I just wouldn't want him for that price. I think that's what all the New York is thinking. You've seen the Knicks Twitters going crazy with words we can't even say on here.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson grew up in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
He's a New Jersey native.
Yeah.
Local kid. Knicks, that's gonna be a huge selling point for Knicks fans. Local guy from the tri-state area, like Kemba Walker last year. They like getting their local guys from like the New York, New Jersey area and putting them up. And who knows if it works out.
The Knicks fan base has said, though, we want him, we just don't want him for 110. And I don't blame them because he's not that guy. Connor.
Here's the problem with this one. It was a contract year for him, and he played his best basketball in the playoffs, you know?
Yeah.
He couldn't do any better.
I raised you Julius Randle last year. Look what happened when they gave him the max. Has Julius lived up to the max contract? Julius is a great player. Is he a guy that deserves a max contract? I don't necessarily think so. Maybe because he clawed them into the playoffs. Did Jalen Brunson claw them into the playoffs?
No.
He did some good things, did some really big things when they needed it.
Yeah.
But when it mattered most, where was he that last series? Okay, Luka was doing everything by himself.
I'll give him credit. When Luka was injured, Jalen Brunson did drop 40 points a game in that first round series. But here's the problem, though. The Knicks did this. They've done this before. They signed Jerome James to a 5-year contract.
Who's that guy?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Because he had one good playoffs. And Isaiah Thomas, that was back when he was the head coach. They gave this man a 5-year deal because he scored 13 points a game in the playoffs and then washed out. I'm not saying Jalen Brunson only will.
Here's the thing. Brunson
that.
in that Warrior series wasn't bad. I mean, he was shooting for the series. I think like he shot about like 46% from the field.
Okay, but how many points was he putting up?
He put up 31 in game 2 and 20 in game 3. I mean,
Okay.
he wasn't bad.
No, he was
he was having a decent series.
He was okay, but he's not worth 110 is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that statement, but I'm saying he's a good player. I
Absolutely.
could see him getting like a 17.5, 18 mil a year contract.
That's where I'm at with him. That's what kind of guy he is.
So if the Knicks and Mavericks, and also keep into account, this free agent class is not good.
Awful.
It's probably one of the worst free agent classes of the last decade. So guys are going to be getting the premiums, even if they're not that great, because teams need help.
But how do you feel about that, though? Because when you know that this is a down year, don't do nothing. You don't have to necessarily, make moves, but don't put your eggs in one basket like a Jalen Brunson when you know down the line you could get a better free agent.
But think about it. Think about the Mavericks right now.
Yep.
They just went to the Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
Luka Doncic had pretty much a career playoff year so far, and he's only going up.
They got
And
Christian
you want to keep a guy like Luka Doncic happy. You don't want him getting complacent with the team's organization and front office. So you got to start bringing in guys that he likes, like Brunson, who was helping him out on the scoring aspect. So I see in that aspect, you want to keep your star happy, you want to continue with your upward trend, and you want to make a finals appearance.
They just got Christian Wood, too,
Yeah,
also.
they made a trade for Christian Wood.
That's a big deal because the Mavericks, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber are necessarily going to be the superstar front court that gets you far, especially against they did take the Suns, but the Golden State, I don't know if that's going to get... Christian Wood is one of the better centers, I think. He's improved drastically over the last couple of years. He can shoot, he can score anywhere. I think that's a huge missing piece. Jalen Brunson, they have Spencer Dinwiddie. So
that's a sixth man. That could be a sixth man of the year candidate. Right?
I'm saying if Brunson goes,
Dinwiddie could
fill
be
the
a
shoes.
starter, to be honest.
Yeah, he could
you.
fill in Brunson's shoes if Brunson ends up leaving. Which if the Knicks are about to offer this contract, they got to look at it that way. Like, well, they have Dinwiddie right there. They can just plug him in the same role.
I'm telling you right now, if I'm Dallas, I don't think Jalen Brunson make or breaks that team. I think he's a great piece, and you'd love to have him, but you want to have him for the right price.
Yeah.
I think the same thing with the Knicks. I think it's a great piece to have, but to give him 110. I don't know. Now, here's something else that's been posed, is that there's a potential sign-and-trade move sending Julius Randle to the Mavericks for Brunson.
If I'm the Knicks, I'm taking that deal in a heartbeat.
Okay, but are you still giving him that much money, though, for 110 mil, but getting rid of Randle?
I think for both sides, actually, it's not terrible.
For Dallas, they're set. If they get Randle, because then they can still plug up Brunson. Not Brunson. Dinwiddie, Luka in the backcourt with Randle and Christian Wood in the front court.
It'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting.
They
for
need
Dallas.
some depth. They would need some depth, which they could get.
They still have Dorian Finney-Smith. They'll have other pieces they could put.
Yeah, it's not a bad
there.
squad. It's just, I think sending Julius Randle there, Spencer Dinwiddie would have to ball out.
Yeah, he would.
He would have to be a knockdown shooter like we've seen him do in Brooklyn. All right, he's got to get back to that level for that to do anything. Now, whether or not he gets there, I don't know if I'm sold on it yet, because I think him having the touches taken away from Luka and Randle, I don't know if Randle can be your second best player on a championship squad. He's got to buy into defense. We know he can't go right. The guy can really only go left. We'll see what happens. I think playing with Luka would really set him up for success.
Playing with Luka will set anyone up for success, honestly.
But if that's the case, I have no problem losing a Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
I have no problem gaining a Jalen Brunson from the Knicks. It's just got to be at the right price.
And I feel like the Knicks are going to be the losers of the situation regardless. Something tells me.
Here's
something
the
tells
thing.
me they're going to lose somehow.
They're also, if they get rid of Randle, I heard that they're also looking at DeJounte Murray, who's trying to get off the
phenomenal.
Spurs. He's fantastic.
I love that guy.
But if you put DeJounte Murray where R.J. Barrett and Jalen Brunson, is that winning you a chip? I don't think so.
R.J. Barrett and Jalen, one of them's going to have to play. R.J.'s going to have to play small forward at that point. But DeJounte Murray is one of those
quality.
He should have been.
He was an all-star.
He should have been like all NBA, all defensive team. I think he was that good.
I think wasn't he all defensive first team?
No, he wasn't He wasn't even all defensive team at all.
That's robbery.
My whole what point guard averages rebounds like Russell Westbrook? He's like a kind of version of him. Not Russell Westbrook like MVP level, but he can do a lot of things that gotta give Gregg Popovich his credit. No matter who he drafts, he always finds somehow.
Well, the Spurs are in for quite a future. Pop's gone. All the remnants of those teams are gone. They're in full rebuild mode. So
never thought I'd see the day, honestly. I never thought I'd see the day.
Hey, they were even with a roster like that. They didn't even have a great roster this year, but they were
No.
still in the play-in tournament. And
They
won a
were.
game. I think they won a game in the play-in tournament, if I remember correctly. So they got a solid base. We'll see where they go from here. Next story here in the NBA.
Oh, I actually hear that Pop might be reportedly staying for one more season.
What? Didn't he just say he was?
I don't know, dude. The Pop saga has been all
never
over
leaving.
the place. I feel like
Can't
he's
leave.
never leaving. I
He
feel
can't
like
leave. Look at him.
He might just go back into like that Pat Riley role and just like, all right, I'm just gonna chill here.
Yeah,
until...
Pat Riley's also never leaving.
Exactly,
Yeah, but that's the Don right there.
All right.
Where did you want to take this?
NBA draft. We haven't been able to cover it since it happened on Thursday night, and Paolo Banchero going number 1 overall of the Magic. We did not see that coming.
Big J saw it coming because he's a Duke fan.
Yeah.
Let me
absolutely.
just tell you that I think the Magic wholeheartedly done messed up. All right, I think we all here at least all thought that Jabari Smith should have been the number 1 overall pick, and I don't know. I think Banchero's all right. I just feel that Smith was just
Is it Banchero or Banchero?
Banchero.
Banchero, I believe. Did I say Banchero?
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry, I just missed my train of thought there. But I think we all thought that Smith was head above the rest. It wasn't necessarily like, listen, I am not blown away by this draft class by any means necessary, but I did think that he should be the guy, and I'm a little surprised that he fell to the 3rd pick.
Yeah, and then Chet Holmgren going 2, which we thought was going to happen, but when Jabari Smith falls to 2,
You take Jabari Smith.
I mean, Chet Holmgren, I think, is going to be a quality NBA player. I don't know if he's going to be a talent. I think he'll be a nice starting center in the league, maybe.
Him and Pokashevsky are going to be something to deal with on the defensive end. You got 2 7-footers that all they do is block shots,
He's got to put on some muscle, though.
and he can shoot too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's a stretch 5. So I like where OKC's going with the rebuild, and it looks like maybe this year I could see OKC making a fringe playoff berth. Like
Yeah.
They
8
have such young
7 seed?
talent, but I don't know. If I'm OKC, like I kind of like what they're doing with building up the young core, but they have so much like assets acquired over the years in terms of draft capital.
Yeah, the Westbrook trade,
For the
PG
l-
trade, like
For the love of God, go out there and get a player, man. Like go get.
they have Shy, man. Shy's a
Shy's
superstar.
good, but go get something that you can pair with Shy here. Like they're building things up through the draft,
Giddey?
which is great. But go get that piece that could help that take this young core.
They think
to the
Chet
promised
Holmgren
land.
is that piece.
Fair, but I think that you could leverage the draft capital with Chet Holmgren and everything else, and they could legitimately go out and like go get yourself a DeJounte Murray to go pair with Shy, with Chet Holmgren, with Lou Dort's a great defender there. Go in on it already. What are they waiting for?
I think they should have been in on the Jeremy Grant sweepstakes.
I would have been fine with that too. I think that would have been a player that would have contributed to the core of that team.
Can't believe that trade.
Yeah.
I mean, that was robbery.
A
Did we
2025
talk
first
about
round
that?
pick?
Yeah, we talked about that last week. That was insane. If you missed last week, the Portland Trailblazers basically just stole Jeremy Grant from the Detroit Pistons, and now, there's a second star.
Damon
with
Grant.
Dame.
Speaking of the Blazers reportedly are to offer Damian Lillard a 2-year extension worth over $100 million.
My
50
wow.
mil a
year.
for
I
Damian
just did that
Lillard.
on purpose.
That was just breaking. How do we feel about Damian Lillard in his early 30s getting $50 million a year?
I don't. No, I'm sorry. I'm saying it. No, I love Dame. I think Dame's worth everything. But at $50 million a year,
That's more than Westbrook, bro.
What has he done? What has he done? Honestly, like, what has Damian Lillard made the top 75 list? What did Dame do? I love
He's been
Dame.
to one
He
Western
made that
Conference
list?
final.
He made the top 75
Over Dwight.
over Dwight. Him and AD.
And Tracy McGrady over him too.
he made it over Tracy. Yep.
Here's the thing, but what does Tracy do? That
Got a
Dame
scoring
did.
title at least.
But at least
Tracy got a scoring title.
Dame's got more All-Star appearances.
All-star appearances.
I don't know,
man.
dude. Tracy, I definitely think Tracy was robbed of that list.
Dame went to a Western Conference Finals. That's all he's done.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, Dame's a quality player. Now, should he be getting $50 million a year? I'd declare shenanigans.
As a Blazer, as the Blazers front office though, can you really? He's done everything for them.
He's the
I
only
guess
thing that they
can't-
got going. If I'm him, though,
They
like,
can't say no.
I don't know, man. I guess Dame is it fair to say that Dame's in it for the money?
In it for Portland.
I mean, I don't think is he in it for Portland, though? Because if you're in it for Portland, wouldn't you be taking a pay cut to bring a star so you can actually go compete for a championship?
That is another way to look at it.
Okay, because I love Dame. Don't get me wrong. I wish the Lakers would have somehow acquired him. It's physically impossible for that to happen. You get Dame if you can get Dame. I just, once again,
$50 million.
$50 million. We're not, like, that is taking up a lot.
We were talking about Jalen Brunson getting
salary
overpaid
cap.
at $22 million.
Okay, and at least, I'm pretty sure Jalen Brunson's like, what, like 24, 25?
Yeah, he's young.
He's young. Like,
Same
Dame,
draft class as Luka.
Yeah, like, Dame is not getting any younger, man. Like, I don't know. I think Dame's a quality player. I think he's a top 3 point guard in the NBA. The problem is it's $50 million, and I don't know if you want to necessarily pay that.
And Dame's not probably on the downward trend in his career. He's 31 years old. His prime's only, 2-3 more years. They said 2 years. That's a 2-year deal, so that's probably the remainder of his prime.
Yeah, I don't necessarily... I don't hate it. It's just I don't see Portland making moves to really make a legitimate run.
They had their chance in 2019.
And
that wasn't even really a chance because, they battled Denver and they did all that, but that Warriors team just swept them in the conference finals.
And
So, it was their best team by far, but it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't do it with CJ. So Jeremy Grant's probably a downgrade from CJ. So what chance do the Blazers really have?
When CJ left, that's when I knew the Blazers were definitely in some sort of rebuild because it was Dame and CJ for like not 10 years, but a decent amount of time. And when they blew that up, I was like, wow.
I was happy to see it go, though, to be honest with you, because they just had too much money tied up within the two of them. And CJ's awesome. I just think CJ's got to be a third. I don't think he could be your second guy.
He was being a great number one for the Pelicans in the last half of the year.
Yeah,
Brandon Ingram is their number.
Brandon Ingram is
that's
also
true.
there.
No, but he was leading the scoring charge, CJ.
No, I know, I
throughout that
understand
time.
that, but like you also have a player of the caliber of Brandon Ingram. Okay,
And Zion coming back.
Zion coming back is going to be that's my sleeper pick, honestly, for a team that's going to be a problem. Not saying that they're necessarily going to win it all, but like that team's going to be a problem if Zion's healthy. I think a 5 seed. As high as a 4.
The Western Conference is going to be really nice. It's going to be nice. Different teams are going to be good. It's going to stir the pot a little bit.
Speaking of the Western Conference stirring the pot a little bit, John Wall reaches the buyout with Houston and is now on the Los Angeles Clippers. If they get a center, if they get a legitimate center, because I know they just paid Zubac
crazy money,
$30 million for somebody whose game is from the 1970s and it's not worth
it. He's like the 8th man on the bench.
Yeah, listen, shout out Angelo the Puma out there, a buddy of ours, buddy of mine, I should say, that is a diehard Clippers fan, big Zubac guy. If they get a legitimate center for the first time ever, I'm afraid of the Clippers. First time ever, I'm afraid of the Clippers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say get a legitimate center for the first time ever. I'm like, DeAndre Jordan.
No. I'm saying if they, with Kawhi Leonard coming back, even though he was out with a pretty rough injury, and Paul George, a legitimate center, if John Wall can just even be half of what he was, I'm afraid.
I think the Clippers just need more shooting. I think Paul George is too inconsistent. Kawhi's got a good 3-point shot, but I don't think it's, some of the best. They need a nice little stretch guard to play on the wing and can knock down threes. Joe Harris, I heard, was on the trade block. So who knows if maybe the Clippers go in on a guy like Joe Harris.
They've been known to make moves. Listen, Luke Kennard's there. I believe they're getting rid of him. They can clear up that space. Making a push for Joe Harris and a center, that would be, it's a problem. The Los Angeles Clippers are looking competent for the first time in a while.
Since 2011, 2012.
Essentially. And even then, you can make the argument because Doc didn't want to trade for Carmelo back then, which probably would have put that core guys of Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and, of course, Chris Paul. Picking up Carmelo Anthony could have took them to the promised land. Doc didn't want to trade his son, so they looked incompetent, and now here we are. But here's the thing. They pick up 2 legitimate stars in Paul George and Kawhi. All right? They pick up John Wall, who is arguably, at the time in Washington, if he plays on the Knicks, we're talking about, he's the top 2 point guard in the NBA, if not number 1. But because he was in Washington, it's he's good, but it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess
flashy, exciting.
Yeah, thank you. I was thinking
I mean, they had him and Beal for 6-7 years.
But that's all they had.
They couldn't get it done.
That's all they had, though. There was nothing
they had the
else.
Polish hammer,
Had
Mr.
Otto
Gortat.
Porter on a max deal.
Stop it. You're giving me Morrison Gortat right now.
The Polish hammer right there,
Yeah,
man.
the Polish hammer wasn't making the difference of winning a chip or not, okay?
Absolutely not.
But
that's
that's the
Trevor
thing.
Ariza for a bit, I guess you could say, but
that's the thing, right? If Morrison Gortat at that time goes to this Clippers team, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they need. They just need a big guy that can
It's good enough.
that can just be like a body that's strong enough down in the paint,
Like
grab
when they had
some
Boban.
boards. What's up?
Like when they had Boban.
Yeah,
like a
they
Clint
just need
Capella.
somebody to alter shots. He doesn't even need to block shots. Just alter shots,
John
and they're
Collins?
okay. I don't
Clint-
think that's a big enough body, but
Clint
potentially.
Capella. That's the perfect
not-
fit.
If
The
they
Hawks
got-
aren't trading.
If
Clint
they
Capella.
got a Clint Capella, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Of what they need.
But the Hawks aren't going to trade.
I'm with you. But like, if they get somebody like even a JaVale McGee, if they pick up a JaVale McGee, which I don't think they can because I'm pretty sure he's on a contract with Phoenix. But if they picked up a guy like JaVale McGee, I'm scared. I believe Mo Bamba is going to be on the move.
DeAndre Ayton.
You know,
Free agent.
Ayton would have to buy into the role. I think he's a little gassed up, and I really thought he was going to end up with Detroit, but now Detroit apparently pulled out of the interest because of who the acquisitions that they've made through the draft.
Oh yeah, they got Jalen Duren.
Where do you guys
Yeah.
think Ayton's ended up?
I thought it was going to be Dallas, but now that they have Christian
Wood, that's not
it's
happening.
Not happening.
There's not a big market for the guy. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, he's an offensive center. You know,
And
there's
a low post center at that.
and a low post center.
That's
at that.
not gonna translate
He
to the
does
space
not
in
have
the
a
game.
big market. He thinks that he's worth more than what he really is. I hate to say it. I thought that was going to be the most Detroit move ever, picking up Ayton, because it's essentially he's a worse Andre Drummond.
But
The worst
here's the
Andre.
thing.
Well, no way.
Prime
Andre Drummond. That's what I
Yeah.
meant. Okay.
I could see the Clippers making a move at him. And now that the Magic, maybe Magic,
They have Wendell Carter Jr. and Mo Bamba. Well, Mo Bamba. We
Mobamba
gotta
might
figure out what's
leave.
gonna happen.
Mobamba
there.
might leave.
Well, I hear Mobama has been linked to Chicago.
I saw Miami too, but whatever.
We don't need to talk about Mobamba. He's not that good.
No, but dude, I'm telling you, Mo Bamba is
He was getting better. He's getting better.
he's a nice young talent. He's starting to get a shot. You know, like this is a guy who, if the Clippers were to pick up, that is, I'm afraid. For the first time, I think the crown in Los Angeles is legitimately at stake of who's got the most recent title.
And then
Because I'm sold on the Clippers if they get a center.
and then Russ is still there collecting his 47 mil.
You know what? I have to believe that Russ is going to work out just because
You you can't not.
there's nothing else to believe in. You know? Then I believe in nothing
You
if Russ
believe in
doesn't work
nothing if
out.
Russ doesn't
You know,
work out.
listen, as we said, Darvin Ham is there, and if Russ can just buy in on defense and kind of play that Rondo role when they did with the last championship, it could work. I don't know what they're going to do in free agency. They're talking about Blake Griffin. I'm losing my mind over here because it's like they're trying to pick up everybody that was great back in 2011, 2012, and it's just not happening. What are we doing?
like the Knicks in, like, what was it, 2018, when they had, like, Joakim Noah and they
Yeah,
had Derrick
Noah Rose.
Carmelo.
I don't know what is going on right now, but the Lakers are just sitting in purgatory with the salary cap situation. The free agent class isn't even that great. I don't even know what to expect anymore. Listen, this is how messed up this free agent class is. PJ Tucker's about to get $30 million from Philadelphia.
Listen.
PJ's awesome, but is PJ worth $10 million a year?
Listen. Okay. If PJ leaves Miami, they got to fit. That's one of the most important pieces they have.
Yeah.
'Cause that's their weakest position is the power forward position.
And you're talking potentially TJ Warren,
And
potentially
Jay Crowder coming back.
or potentially Blake Griffin.
Okay, not Blake.
And out of all of them, you gotta hope it's Jay Crowder.
Yeah, Jay Crowder. That team went to the finals with him there.
I'm calling it right now. I think TJ Warren's gonna end up on the Cavs. I think that's a piece that they would like to add, and he has been shown in the bubble that he. Granted, it was the bubble.
Okay, that was the weirdest thing ever. The greatest 8 games of the guy's life.
But that's the thing. I mean, that's what happens when all you have to do is just focus on basketball.
But that might never happen again. That's the problem. He'll always have.
It might not ever happen again.
Yeah.
but
We'll always have Paris. That's what we'll always have the bubble.
you know. So that's the thing. The bubble was such an anomaly because it was pure basketball. It's the fairest championship ever won. I'm not saying that if Miami would have won it, they deserved it. All right, I'm not saying that just because the Lakers won it. To me, that is a better championship won than the Bucks won because everybody was out with COVID during the Bucks. Big superstars like Chris Paul weren't even in something like the series. It was just a weird thing. Brooklyn would have beat them if they were healthy. Just one of them was healthy because they were up in that series, and then the freak
Harden
injuries
got
happened.
hurt. Kyrie got hurt.
But that's the
It was
thing.
KD on his own for the last 3 games.
I think those guys they just need to have that level of comfortability. I think a move for TJ Warren where I think he was expected to be the guy in Indiana, where if he goes to Cleveland, he doesn't have to be the guy, and he could
Got Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, all those. That's another team.
That's a young core.
Cleveland right there.
I would like to see that happen.
What's with Colin Sexton?
He's getting.
You think he's gonna
maybe traded?
Because Garland is healthy one.
Garland's the guy.
I think Sexton could be a top 15 defensive guard in the league.
Okay,
He's a great defensive
Listen,
guard.
the kid, he does a little bit of everything. Let's be honest. I mean,
He's a slasher.
he
He's got
can-
a little bit of a shot.
He can put the ball in the bucket. He can facilitate. We were talking about this kid being, arguably the best point guard for like a 2-week span there. This kid's showing flashes. You definitely go with him over Sexton. I don't know who would be interested.
Garland over Sexton?
You're talking about Garland.
Yeah, Garland.
I thought you were talking about Sexton. I was so confused.
No.
I was
Garland.
like,
Because we were just talking about Sexton. So
No, I'm saying for Garland. Like, I think you definitely go. My bad.
No,
I'm saying with Garland, you definitely got to stick with him over it. I don't know where Sexton could potentially go.
Yeah.
So.
The team that needs some defensive guard help, Brooklyn. Speaking of Brooklyn,
the Kyrie charade has just hit its pinnacle. I've never seen a more. They got me standing over here. Are you kidding me?
I'm probably gonna stand after you. 'Cause
That's all right.
I
We're all
need
gonna
to.
stand.
I need to vent a little bit.
I just need. This is where it. What are you doing?
where everyone's standing.
I'm not standing.
Connor, sit down. Bad. Put him in timeout.
No, I'm not putting him in timeout for just standing. All right, go.
Okay. With Kyrie Irving, it's how do you opt into this contract after you've burnt every bridge? Supposedly, I don't know if you heard this, and I wanted to get a live reaction. That's why I didn't tell you about it. Supposedly, the bridge with him and Nash collapsed, where he went to a dinner at Nash's residence and asked to see Kobe's MVP trophies. Anthony Cafone is defeated.
Here's the thing with Kyrie. He's said numerous times that he wants out.
Yeah.
I want to play with LeBron again. Lakers have nothing to give the Nets right now.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Nothing.
Not at all.
So, the Nets have all the leverage right now. They will happily pay Kyrie to just sit because they've been doing that for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Dude,
what a
but
great contract.
If you're Kyrie, though, listen, I understand that it was 37, and change on the table. Obviously, we're talking millions here. He's a great talent. You don't think anybody's going to pay you that, man?
He just gave the Nets all the power.
Dude, all he had to do was just opt out. Somebody was going to try to give him a contract, dude.
He gave-
He's that level of player, and
Yeah.
it's worth the headache at times. I don't think it's worth the headache for Brooklyn because he hasn't done anything in 2 years. Okay, but for a team that's a legitimate contender, not saying that Brooklyn's not, but if you could, for certain teams that are looking for, a point guard, it might be worth it. Now, I've heard Miami. I don't think he's ever going to work with Pat Riley, ever.
Yeah, they'll fight on the first day of training camp.
So...
Yeah.
Fist fight, too.
But there are teams that could use a Kyrie Irving. I was worried that he was going to end up with the Clippers, to be honest with you, but now they got John Wall, so apparently that's not happening.
Okay, if Kyrie ended up with the Clippers, then you would be scared, regardless of the center
100%.
position. Regardless of the
100%.
center
The
position.
Knicks I was hearing, but now Jalen Brunson and...
Dude, what is going on with this? It's the Brooklyn Nets are a circus.
Well,
I sent you that meme. I sent all you guys that meme, the who want me, and everyone said no.
No.
That's literally the Kyrie saga. Kyrie goes, who want me? I don't want to be on the Nets anymore. Everyone was just like, nah, we good.
I mean, listen, the
And now-
Lakers would want it, but it would have been for a $7 million contract or something like that, and they still need depth.
I'm sorry, Kyrie going out and saying that he doesn't want to be in that anymore and he's trashing that organization just to opt back in, he looks like a clown. He looks like a clown that's chasing the money.
Okay, but also I'm going to raise you that the Nets organization is looking like clowns right now as well because they've allowed all of this to happen. This is what happens when
What do you mean? We've pampered Kyrie.
But that's
no
the
other team
problem.
has been
That's
putting
the
up with
problem.
Kyrie the way we have. So if any other team did said no to Kyrie, he'd be in the same situation. So what else could the Nets do?
That's the problem, though. You gave the keys to the castle to two guys. Listen, when you give the keys to the castle, you give it to a guy who's been there forever and has been proven to win you something, all right? LeBron James deserved the keys to the castle when he was with Cleveland, okay? What has Kevin Durant done for the Brooklyn Nets? What has Kyrie Irving done for the Brooklyn Nets? If you want to give KD the keys to the castle, I'm fine with that. He's been a top 3 player, not at his position, in the league
Forever.
For 15 years.
For 15 years. That's fine with me. Why is Kyrie Irving getting keys to the castle? He's been nothing more than the second best player on a team. He's been proven he couldn't be a leader with Boston, and you guys gave him the keys. You deserve this. I'm sorry. And then you give up the young core to bring in James Harden, Karis LeVert, and Jared Allen might have won you guys a championship if they were still playing against the Milwaukee
And now
Bucks.
we got Ben Simmons.
Now, granted,
And now I got Ben Simmons.
And then you trade for an even bigger headache in Ben Simmons when you already have two divas in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And I'm not saying that they're not worth it. I'm just saying you already got headaches. I'm telling you right now, Ben Simmons is not worth the headache. Okay, so he's got to buy in. He's got to stop walking around like he's got 3 championships when he has like 2 borderline all-star appearances. Okay, I don't understand it. Like, the Nets deserve everything that they got, and then the fact that they bring in a coach, and these two guys said at the beginning, Kyrie and KD, we don't want to be coached. So you bring in Steve Nash, and then guess what?
They don't win.
You can't just sit there and play iso ball the entire time without having a bench. Okay, there's no game plan. The Milwaukee Bucks zone in on them. I'm sorry, the Boston Celtics zone in on them. Sorry, I got my greens mixed up. The Boston Celtics zone in on them, and nothing happens, for the Nets because they got shut down. There was a game plan. There was great coaching and guys buying in. Guess what? That's how you get to the finals, okay? When you have decent players buying. You don't even need great players. You just need good players to buy into it. Jason Tatum's awesome, but, a little streaky at times. So is Jalen Brown, also streaky. But they're good, and they have a good core around them to buy in. The problem is that you have 2 great players that aren't buying in. So what did you expect?
It really is a situation where I think all the Nets fans collectively are just like, we don't even want Kyrie anymore. We don't want to deal with this headache. We just want to go back. Well, we will take being a bad team again for a few years and just rebuild a young core. Because we just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Dude, just trade him.
We have all the power now.
We have guys like Cam Thomas.
He's nice.
He is nice.
At scoring.
Yes. So that's what we're saying. We have guys who are young and are ready to develop. We're thinking about trading for a guy like John Collins. Like I brought up Colin Sexton. Like, we have guys that we are looking at that could be young superstars. So deal these big time contracts away, get some cap space, and start rebuilding for the future.
Listen, here's the thing. You're talking about, you have Kevin Durant, right? Guys want to play with Kevin Durant. Let's be honest.
But he doesn't want to play for the Nets. He hasn't spoken a word to the front office since the season ended.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm him, you gotta stop being loyal to Kyrie. I know that might be like your boy and stuff, but come on, dude. What has he done to help you in the last couple of years? Okay, he's making you look bad. All right, you can get. There's other players out there. Bradley Beal is available. All right, get Kyrie off the books and go get another superstar. Brooklyn is in a major city, obviously, like it being a part of like New York. It should be a free agent destination of guys that are looking to get out of contracts. Like, it's not. Listen, it's not Los Angeles. It's not Miami, but it is a destination.
There's a reason why the Nets moved from New Jersey.
There is a reason why the Nets
and that's
moved from New Jersey.
why.
That is why. But that's what I'm saying is that if you're a basketball player, right, a professional basketball player, and you want to go play in a large market, why can't the Brooklyn Nets be a large market? We look at them as a small market team because they're not the Knicks.
But they are a top 6 financial team right now in the NBA.
Not only that, they also have a top star in the NBA. They're in a pretty good location. Like, I mean, listen,
Barclays Center is beautiful.
Barclays is immaculate. If you haven't been there, have your own opinions about it. I've been there. Ant's been there. Connor, have you been there?
I have never been, but I
It's
should.
a nice place, So there's not a bad seat in the house. And listen, obviously we don't get paid. This is not promotion. This is just my opinion, But I don't know what is going on with Brooklyn. They're just running in circles here for a guy that, at this point, yeah, the talent is worth it, but the best ability is availability. We've said it time in and time out, and he hasn't been available.
Remember when we said that the Suns were the most tortured fan base in basketball?
They still are, but continue.
It might be the Nets soon.
No, the Nets.
We have squandered so many opportunities in the past. The New Jersey Jason Kidd era where we went to 2 finals, lost both of them. We had a great core then. Then we had the Paul Pierce, KG saga. Then we blew it up and became the worst team in basketball for 5-6 seasons. Now we have the two top players in the NBA, and we probably can't even get done with them. It's just been a never-ending cycle lately for the Nets in these last 20 years, and it's frankly disappointing.
And I raise you, the Suns have had 2 MVP players, like literally MVP seasons in Charles Barkley and Steve Nash. and they still couldn't get the job done. And then they get Chris Paul, they're the number 1 seed, and then they lose to Dallas. Okay, so I give you that in terms of like the recent situation, and I will give you that if you were specifically a New Jersey Brooklyn Nets fan. Okay,
Like me.
so yeah, I could give you that. Like if you saw all that, and then because listen, there's some guys that became.
I didn't
Brooklyn
really
Nets fans
see the
'cause they just
Jason
got
Kidd
there.
era. I was a little too young for that,
But guys that are older enough to have seen it, like I could see that being tortured, and now here we are in a never-ending cycle. But I don't know. I'm still rocking with the Suns on that one.
all right, well, that's the end of our NBA discussion for this week. Hopping right into football. Top story: Terry McLaurin finally ended his lockout from the Washington Commanders. Got a 3-year deal worth, frankly, around I think
22 million years, 23 million a year, whatever it is, it's a lot of money.
Is it worth it,
He'll
Connor?
be a top 5 wide receiver right now in football.
Is it
Or
worth
highest paid wide receiver in football.
Washington's not built for that, so I don't think it's worth it for them. Because I feel like you give that money to a team where you're really trying to make something happen. But with Carson Wentz quarterbacking him right now, I don't think so. And it's not like Terry's like an all-pro wide receiver or anything. And I feel like Christian Kirk, obviously I know, messed up that wide receiver market.
I don't understand how we're paying guys that haven't done anything like this. Like, yeah, could he reach that potentially?
Terry, yes.
Yeah,
Dude,
sure.
Terry last season, I saw this. It was like an advanced stat metric. He had the highest percentage of throws to him that weren't catchable.
Yeah.
Over half of his targets last year were uncatchable.
All he has to his name is
54%.
a Pro Football Writers all-rookie team. That's all he's got.
54% of the passes thrown to Terry McLaurin last season were uncatchable. He hasn't had a quarterback to throw to. And we've seen some of his catches. I think one week against the Eagles, he had a catch where he was on the sideline, ball was over his head, and he turned mid-air and caught the ball in bounds.
So you saying he should be a top 5 paid wide receiver in the NFL?
If he has a top quarterback in the NFL throwing to him, he could be an 1,800-yard receiver.
But when are the Commanders going to get their quarterback?
Well, we'll see.
Because it's not Carson Wentz,
Definitely not.
and it's not Taylor Heineke.
It's not Heineke.
I like Heineke, but he's not going to be that guy.
He's not the guy.
He's not.
They were all
Baker to the
so
Commanders.
up on-
Baker to the Commanders.
Dude, we'll get to the Baker saga in a second because we've been playing. Where's Baker heading for the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, for the last 3 months.
But specifically here for the last 3 weeks we've been speculating. But here's the thing. I don't know. I think the Commanders had to pay him.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Dude, for me, if I'm making you a top 5 at a position, you gotta do something, man. You gotta stand out. Now, granted, and bringing up the stat that 50% of his catches were uncatchable, fair, but is that enough to be a top 5 wide receiver paid in the NFL in your eyes?
He had 1,000 yards last year, 77 catches.
1,000 yards with Taylor Heineke as his quarterback. That's like Josh Gordon doing it with who do we say was his quarterback?
Brandon Weeden.
Brandon Weeden. I don't know how I do that, dude.
That's even more impressive to me.
What's what I'm saying?
He has 1,700 yards. That's more impressive.
This man, Terry McLaurin, has been playing without a quarterback his entire career. The one year he was playing with the corpse of Alex Smith
The corpse of Alex Smith.
and Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
That was who he was playing with,
Well, listen-
and he still put up 1,400
Well,
yards that year.
here's the thing, though, right? When I think of him, when I think of wide receivers playing with bad quarterbacks and still getting the job done,
Hopkins.
not only him, because he is ridiculous.
Andre Johnson.
Oh.
That's a good one. I'm thinking more recently of Allen Robinson, who just made his way to Los Angeles, and we'll see if he is what we think he is. Okay, because it's a lot easier to put up those numbers when you're the main target in a system. It's a lot harder to do it when you're not getting as much touches, or it could be easier depending on how things open up for you. Okay, but we do know that guys have a history of getting paid and not doing nothing with it. Okay, and for me, I just do think that is. I guess today's theme is a lot of money. I like them, but just I don't know about the price. I don't know. But then again, who am I? The Cowboys throw money like they're at people for no reason.
It's Jerry World.
You know?
He likes to pay
So-
money, but
It says Zeke contract.
I don't know. I just feel like they have so much bigger problems in Washington, D.C. than to throw a bag at a wide receiver when they don't even have a quarterback to do anything with them.
Yeah, so $28 million signing bonus for Terry McLaurin, top 5 highest paid wide receiver in football. And personally, I think he'll ball out. 3 years.
Yeah.
He's got a chance to really, I mean, he's probably not going to have a quarterback for those 3 years.
They're going to have to try something. They're going to be one of those teams that's looking next season in the draft or the season.
And
they will be there.
The Commanders have the seeds to build a great team. Their defense is
great.
They're probably going to be a top 10 defense this year.
Chase Young's coming
back.
Vengeance.
They have the Kendall Fuller in the secondary is very good. They have some pieces on that defense. Offensive side, Antonio Gibson's a great dual threat running back. Their offensive line's subpar.
Logan Thomas is a great tight end, I would say.
Like they have pieces. They just don't have a quarterback. I don't think they'll probably be in last place this year in the NFC East. And they're probably going to waste
last place in the NFC East.
But
the Giants will take that one.
Them and the Giants are going to be close.
I take the Giants. Now they make me think about because it's 2 quarterbacks that are not good.
Dog water.
So I gotta. Which team is more mid than the other? Let's play that game real quick.
I'm telling you right now. Let's go to the number 1 main matchup.
They really just got rid of James Bradbury.
Hold on. Let's go to the number 1 main matchup. Right. Daniel Jones versus Carson Wentz.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's hard.
I'd probably go Daniel Jones.
I'm still gonna rock with Carson Wentz.
Rocking with Carson on that one. Okay,
Wentz got carried by Jonathan Taylor last year. Carried.
That's what I'm still.
Yeah,
Wentz has proven that he can win games and do stuff. He does have the injury history, but he's been proven to win games.
Daniel Jones
did it with the Colts a bit. Did it in Philly a bit. Daniel Jones hasn't proven anything to me yet.
And they still get 17 more chances.
He's proven that he can take off when he has wide open space and trip over himself in wide open field. He's proven that he can overthrow guys like there's no tomorrow. Okay,
and fumble every time.
And any time he gets a little bit of contact, the ball comes flying right out. What does he prove? Carson Wentz has proven something at least. Okay, now yes, the new regime is in New York with the Giants, and we'll see what happens. And all that good stuff. I'm not sold on it yet. Let's go to my next favorite matchup for this one. Chase Young versus their newly acquired Kayvon Thibodeau.
We haven't seen Thibodeau yet.
What about the proven defensive end?
Okay, but coming out of college, right? Just look at the hype.
He was supposed to be number 1 overall pick.
Okay, but Chase Young was
number 2.
Two. My bad. But like Chase Young was like we all thought that like Chase Young could be the number 1 pick. I think I like Chase Young coming out of college more than I like Thibodeau.
Yeah, he was a Heisman Trophy finalist as a
and also we forgot to mention on the Commanders, Jonathan Allen.
That's
one of the better, probably a top 3 defensive tackle in football.
That whole defensive line.
Just look at the defense. Just look at the defenses compared to each other. I don't think the Giants have the worst defense, but I'd much rather have the Commanders.
Yes.
Yeah, defense. They're the best defensive line. They have an incredible defensive line.
Offensive lines.
Okay,
it's not even a question. The Commanders beat them on that.
I think the Giants made substantial increases or improvements on their offensive line with Evan Neal in the draft.
Fair.
That's true.
I forgot all about Neal. That's a little closer than I thought. My bad for being ignorant right there.
And also, Brandon Scherf left Washington to go to Jacksonville. So, who really is on the Commanders' offensive line right now?
I don't know. I'm having flashbacks of working every Giants game last year
and just seeing the quarterback get rushed every play.
Every play, no matter who was back there, they were just running for their life. So,
all right,
Neal's a monster.
To running back now. Gibson or Saquon?
Okay, so
when healthy, I'm still rocking with Saquon. The problem is he's never on the field, so you got to give it to Gibson.
Will he even be playing for the New York Giants?
That's the question. That is literally the question.
Because I believe...
And now you move... And then even with that, the running backs, right? Wide receiver course. Just look at the wide receiver course, okay?
I mean, Terry just... Yeah, there you go.
Terry's better than anybody the Giants got. Every time a Giants wide receiver comes into town, they end up getting the concussion bug.
Sterling Shepard, I'll give him credit for still being on the team. And Kenny Galladay didn't even catch 1 touchdown last year.
Dude, what's his name? Doesn't even want to be... it's talking about like he doesn't even want to be there.
Darius Toney.
Yeah. Okay, so...
And he just got there.
And he just got there. You know why he doesn't want to be there? Because he knows he doesn't have a quarterback to throw to him, all right?
Giants or Jets? Who is the worst?
We talked about this.
Are you talking who the worst team is? Giants.
We've talked about this. The best team moving forward in New York, that's in New York City, is the Jets.
The Jets have a better future in.
They will be closer to the rebuild than the Giants.
Garrett Wilson on the rise just got drafted. They got Sauce Gardner in the secondary.
Zach Wilson's a monster.
Zach, I wouldn't say
I
monster
don't
yet.
think he's a
Don't say monster
monster.
yet,
Dude,
He's
telling
had a few
you.
good games. He's not a monster,
Dude, I'm telling you right now, this kid makes throws on the run, running for his life. The same situation that Daniel Jones is. This kid,
He's got a better arm. I will say that,
dude, I literally think he has the potential to be a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. I think the kid can be a difference maker. He throws very well on the run, and he's been running for his life every time he plays for the Jets. Okay? Now they actually got him some help. The defense is looking good. I am more excited for the Jets rebuild than I am the Giants, and that's not my biased Cowboy fandom coming in. It's legitimately looking at this from a pure professional standpoint of who do I have a better stake in completing the rebuild?
and also
and it's the Jets.
The Jets running back room. Breece Hall, who they just drafted in the second round, probably the best running back in the draft this year. And you pair that with Michael Carter, who had a really good rookie year. They're going to have a good running back room to go with. And then on the offensive line, you also factor in a guy like Mekhi Becton, who could be a top 2 tackle in football. They are building something in New York. And frankly, I think the AFC East might be one of the better divisions in football this year.
Let's run through a little game. Who do you think's going to win each division? So let's start with the AFC East. Obviously, the Bills
Buffalo.
is my vote.
Buffalo. No one's going to... Buffalo is the best team in the AFC right now. We've said it week in and week out. Right now, Buffalo's the best team in football.
AFC North.
AFC, I should say.
AFC North. You know, there's the Bengals, the Steelers, the Browns, the Ravens. Not the Browns.
Cincinnati.
I'm not choosing the Browns.
If they don't... Deshaun, it's not even close. Cleveland's out of it.
I'm not
It's
choosing
going to be
Pittsburgh
between
either.
Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's got
And if that's the case, I think the Bengals, they got better.
I
They got Lyle
agree.
Collins.
Got you.
Cincinnati, with a worse roster, destroyed the Ravens in 2 games last year. I think the Ravens made some good improvements this year. They got a better defense. They made some good picks in the draft. I like who they got in the first round with Kyle Hamilton. He'll be a great Swiss Army knife on that defense. Linderbaum's probably going to be a great safety, or the safety center. I like the Ravens this year, probably being a wild card team, but I do think the Bengals win the division.
That offensive system that they've created with Higgins and Jamar Chase and Mixon out of the backfield is just ridiculous. And Joe Burrow
Is that guy.
I don't want to say that he gives me Tom Brady vibes, but like he kind of gives me like
Something vibes.
he gives me vibes of a generational guy that could be there for a long time, and no matter who he's thrown to, can do good with it.
AFC South. Titans or the Colts is all it's really going to come down to. Because not the Jags and
I'm
the
going
Texans.
with Colts. I'm going with the Colts.
Me too,
with
I'm
the
gonna
I
go
think
with
the Titans
Colts.
the Titans are going to have a
Titans
little
got
bit of
worse.
decline. Yeah, and the Colts, they got Matt Ryan, who now he's going to have a better roster. I think last few years in Atlanta, he's really had nothing to work with.
former MVP.
I'm waiting for the Julio signing.
He's had nothing to work outside of Calvin Ridley. He's really had nothing to work with. And he had Kyle Pitts for this year, but that was it.
And
Kyle Pitts
he's
was
not
rookie.
even playing this season. So I'm happy for him getting out of Atlanta. All right, he's getting towards the end of the career. Like this is,
You saw what Phillip Rivers did his last year with Indianapolis 2 years ago.
Yeah, this is a good move for them. I definitely am more sold on the Colts, and especially with A.J. Brown leaving, Julio Jones is not what he used to be. I don't even know if he's on the Titans anymore.
No, he got cut.
Yeah, exactly my point.
I'm waiting for the Colts to pick
Literally,
him up.
the Titans' game plan this year: snap it, give it to Derrick Henry. That's all it's going to be. It's what's been. It's what's continued to be. And without A.J. Brown in that system, they really don't even have a play action game.
It's not like, listen, Ryan Tannehill is a decent quarterback, but you got to establish the run.
And how many weeks do you think it's going to take before Malik Willis is in charge of that offense?
Ooh. Will it happen this season? I don't think it'll happen this season.
Next
yeah.
season
It's not
for
gonna happen
me.
this season.
You think they're going to let Tannehill ride this season and then they bring in Willis to
Yeah.
going forward?
Absolutely.
I'm extremely high on Malik Willis, and him falling to the third round was mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see when I think maybe by week 10, Malik Willis will be the starting quarterback of the Tennessee
That's
Titans.
Ant's claim
A
right there.
screaming hot take.
Hot take.
From Anchor
Hot
Phone.
take. Listen, I don't hate Tannehill, but he
could
fits
totally get benched.
He fits that Jimmy Garoppolo mode for me of you got to establish the run
And
before
you know how
he
much
can do
Mazz
anything.
hates Jimmy
And
Garoppolo.
I can't stand Jimmy Garoppolo, so it's-
AFC West. Obviously,
Chargers.
the Chiefs. Yeah.
Chargers. I like the Chiefs.
It's not the Broncos for me.
Broncos
So,
are way too overrated right now.
The Chiefs got worse, so
And the
I'm
Raiders-
I'm not going to pick the Chiefs.
The
just 'cause
Raiders are okay,
you know what?
but I'm going Chargers.
Raiders or Chargers is so difficult because we look at it this way. I guess Derek Carr versus Justin Herbert. I guess when you
And their defense. Chargers defense is just way better.
Khalil Mack, Joey
I'm gonna
Bosa,
I'm
Jason
gonna be honest,
Jackson.
I got.
Yep.
I wish
LA.
I could give some controversy here. Because we have been picking like the
same team.
I don't want to hear about the Raiders, dude. Derek Carr ain't the guy. Yes, he got Devontae Adams, but he's still not the guy. Who's the second wide receiver?
Hunter
Renfrow. Like he's okay.
Awesome.
He's okay.
What are you talking
He's okay.
about? He was sixth in receiving yards last
He's
year.
okay, but I think the difference comes down to the defense for me. As you said, like you got Bosa, you got
And they got Chandler Jones.
So
they got Chandler Jones and Max Crosby on that Raiders defense now too.
They're secondary though. That
Okay.
needs to be better.
He has a point that has ruined
Abrams
mine.
is their only decent guy in the
I'm gonna
secondary.
be honest. I think the Raiders are the third in that division for me.
The third.
What
So
do you think's
Kansas
fourth?
City will still have them. Is that what you mean,
Who do
or
you think's in
Denver?
fourth?
Hold on. So we got.
You think Chargers, Chiefs, then Raiders, then
Yes.
Broncos? Really? You think the Broncos are in last with Russell Wilson?
Dude, Yeah, I think so. Russell's got to prove to me that he's got to get back to that. Well, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? Like he's Russell Westbrook. Like I'm sorry, Russell Wilson. Jeez, we spent so much time on Westbrook. I'm just all over the place right now. Russell Wilson has to prove that he can get back to that caliber because he was not looking great to me in Seattle those last couple of years. And if he was looking great to you, that's just because you hopped on that bandwagon. And yeah, he could get back to it. But I just think of when you look at everything, offensive weapons, defenses. I like the Raiders' defense better than the Broncos. I like the Chargers better. I don't think I can go against Kansas City, though.
Kansas City's still going to be good, even without Tyreek.
Even without Tyreek, I mean, listen, they picked up Juju, and I'm sure they're going to be able to use him.
Still got Travis Kelce.
Boo-boo.
Boo-boo Schuster.
Boo-boo TikTok Schuster?
Yes, sir.
I do think that they got worse with picking up Juju, but it's still somebody that they could throw to, and it's not like he has to be their main guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their main target's going to be Kelce.
Yep.
And now the question is, can Schuster open up things for Kelce the way that Hill did?
And also, one thing I want to talk about with the Chiefs is they've gotten by just throwing the ball there. Because with Mahomes, then you have Tyreek and Kelce. They could just throw the ball 45, 50 times a game and get by. Now without Tyreek in that offense, they may need to rely a little bit more on that running game. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm sorry, he's just not that guy in my eyes. I've had him on fantasy, and I've also watched a lot of his games. He fumbles a lot, and he's not really good in open space.
I don't hate that take. I just think when you're working with Patty Mahomes, I mean, the guy is... I said monster for Zach Mahomes. He's legitimately a monster. Talk about throwing on the run, the angles of that, the passes come off. He can be... I think we saw him become human this season.
Yeah.
But he also was able to crank it up at times where it's who is this guy? Again, who in the NFL is able to do this?
Also, he
outside
lost
of
a
him?
lot of guys on his offensive line.
Yep.
And you saw in the big game when he played the Buccaneers. That was when he first lost all those guys. And then all those guys left in free agency, and now he had to sort of maneuver without that offensive line for the first time. And it showed. The first 10 games, what were the Chiefs? 3-5?
They were 3-4, and everyone counted them out.
But he looked lazy to me during that stretch, man. He looked like he was just going through the motions. He was trying all the flashy passes when he wasn't even in rhythm. I think this is a guy who anybody, you look at a Patty Mahomes, if anybody would love to have him, this is a guy that's going to be around for a long time.
They literally paid him $500 million to be their quarterback.
And it
$500 million.
And nobody thought it was that crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Not
the thing.
one person
Not
thought it
one
was
person
crazy at
went,
all.
they're absolutely insane. Not one person went, unless you absolutely hate the Chiefs or absolutely hate Patty Mahomes, not one logical person went, that's a bad move.
Yeah.
Because
Thank
he's
you.
that good.
So that's the thing. And Herbert is
Next
on
up.
the come up.
He needs to make the playoffs first.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about Lamar Jackson not even winning a playoff game. Justin Herbert's not even been to a playoff
And
game.
Patty Mahomes has won
A big
big game. So I got to rock with the guys that have been known to get it done. There's all the potential in San Diego.
So you're
but
saying Kansas City wins
I'm
the division?
saying Kansas City wins the division.
I could have sworn that the Ravens won a playoff game with Lamar Jackson.
Well, he has, but I'm saying.
Oh, okay,
We were
okay.
talking about in the first 3 seasons when Lamar hadn't won a playoff game and everyone was going all crazy
he
on
didn't
him.
win a playoff game in his third season?
So in the first season he lost to the San Diego.
Yeah, it was his rookie season
Was,
when
was it San Diego at that point? Or was
Yeah.
it Los
It was-
Angeles?
whatever. They lost to the Chargers.
They lost to the Chargers. Then second year they lost. Yeah, so there's third year, but it took him 2
Yeah.
years. Herbert's now 2 years in. Hasn't
Yeah.
even been to a playoff game. Lamar went to the playoffs his first 2 years, and they were
Yeah.
criticizing him. Herbert's not getting that stigma. So what does that say?
What does that say?
What does that say?
I don't want to say it.
Yep.
He doesn't want to say it.
I don't want to say it. You know what it means.
You know what it means.
But here's the problem, though.
Also,
too.
Lamar was an MVP in his second year, so that's also...
That is a very fair point.
That, I think, puts a lot more pressure on him, but I also think Herbert throws a better ball.
100%.
Yeah.
So it's... I get what you're
Herbert
saying.
also has that mobility factor. He was zooming. I think he had close to, 500 or 600 rushing yards this year.
Yeah, no, the kid can get it done. I think there's not as much pressure on him because he wasn't an MVP.
Yeah.
But I get what you're hitting at.
This year, though, he's got all the pressure in the world on him.
Yeah, he's got to get it done.
I think he can get that done. I think he's got the... He's a little bit of... He has that, sort of Brett Favre gunslinger mentality. He throws a lot of picks.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to fit balls into really tight windows.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? When you got a cannon like that, sometimes that sort of mentality shows. And he threw into double coverage a lot last year. This year, I expect him to be much smarter. I mean, you still got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams in that offense. You gotta, if this guy, I think this year Justin Herbert will be on a 5,000-yard passing season.
Okay. That's a big...
That's another hot take from me.
Yeah.
To the NFC East.
All right.
Let's see if we disagree on this one.
Cowboys.
We're going to let this man go first.
It's the Cowboys.
I do like the Eagles.
I'm
though.
going with the Eagles.
No,
I'm going with the Eagles.
Stop it.
I just think with the Cowboys defense, match that with their offensive prowess on... I mean, they're losing some offensive line.
They lost Lyle Collins. They lost Amari Cooper.
Okay.
Michael Gallup's hurt.
Okay.
The Eagles got A.J. Brown. They got better. They drafted good.
A.J. Brown, who's coming off
But
an injury.
here's the thing, though.
Who's the better quarterback?
I'll give Dak
Thank
the
you.
credit. But I'm still taking... The
Who's the
Eagles
better
figured out
defense?
how to play football.
Who's the better defense?
the better defense?
Who's got the better defense?
Dallas, come on.
Okay, yeah.
Not even close. Do they even have anybody in Philly that could even compare to my man Micah Parsons?
They drafted someone really nice this year on defense. They drafted defensive tackle from Georgia,
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis.
Okay.
That's who the Ravens wanted. That's why I'm...
Yeah, but
Totally.
do they have anybody that is capable of getting to a Micah Parsons level? Because this kid,
They have one of the better cornerbacks in football, and
this
Darius
kid could
Slay.
legitimately be Defensive Player of the Year.
They signed
He
Hassan
will.
Reddick.
He'll
You
get
know?
one. He's Hassan Reddick.
They
One of the
signed
better,
Hassan Reddick.
one of the
They
better
have
pass
Darius
rushers in
Slay.
football.
They got Anthony Harris, James Bradbury also on that defense.
I'm telling you, man, their secondary's probably better. Trayvon Diggs is good,
Dude, Diggs gives up too much yards, but he comes up with
but I'm saying
turnovers.
the Eagles probably have a better secondary.
They
than
have
the
Javon
Cowboys.
Hargrave.
But do
as
they have a better
defensive
defense?
tackle. Javon Hargrave.
Here's the thing. I'm going to say this. Cowboys have a better front seven.
Yep.
Eagles have a better secondary. Do with that information what you want.
But I think that the difference between the secondaries is closer for Dallas. I'll give you that they have a better secondary. I just think that our secondary is closer to being at their level than their front seven is being at our front
Do
seven.
you want me to list the Eagles front seven really fast for
Go
you?
ahead.
Brandon Graham.
Yep.
Yeah, he's good.
Great, right? The
He's all right. He's
defensive
all
tackles
Not
are
great.
Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave.
right. And Jordan Davis.
And Jordan Davis.
Cox is
That
getting up there.
Three good defensive tackles.
I've been hearing that they might be cutting Cox.
That could be true, but Hargrave is perfect fill-in shoes right there.
Yeah.
Derek Barnett's on the other edge.
Yeah, he's good too.
Linebackers. Hassan Reddick is another pass rusher. Kaiser White is underrated, and now he's on that team. And then TJ Edwards is the middle linebacker.
But yeah,
That's their front seven.
I raised you, like I said, Parsons.
I
I think
understand.
DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be completely
he's
fine
getting
this
up
season.
there a little
Randy
bit.
Gregory
He's
left.
getting up there. Gregory did leave. We still have Van Der Esch, and he's looking healthy. Hearing that he's coming
We'll
back.
see. We'll see.
Listen, he's the next Sean Lee.
He's
So
got-
when
He's
he's
next
on,
Sean
he-
Lee.
When he's on, but he's
never
gotta
on.
stay you know?
He's never on.
He's got to be on the field. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Maybe it's the homer coming out in me.
The Eagles figured out how to play football the last half of the season. They made the
But here's the thing.
playoffs.
Last year, Dallas dominated the NFC East.
Last year is last year.
The Eagles need to find a way to combat the NFC East.
They're coming.
I don't know.
I will give you that. I think the Eagles will be a playoff team this year.
I'm not
Dallas- I
saying
still
I'm
have Dallas
not
in the
afraid of. I'm not afraid of it. I'm just saying I think Dallas is going to win that. I think that division. I think it goes Dallas,
By a game.
Eagles. I was gonna say by 2. Dallas by 2 games.
2 games. Ooh.
Yeah, I got Dallas by 2 games. Eagles in second.
Commanders,
Commanders,
Giants.
That's for me, fellas. Moving over to the NFC North, which to me is actually the hardest division to figure out.
Well,
here.
it ain't the Lions and it ain't the Bears.
Yeah, but
the
I'm
Packers.
gonna be honest. I don't know if it's the Packers.
It's Packers.
They got worse. They
The
lost their
Vikings
number.
also got worse.
Yeah, but they lost their number 1 wide receiver, and who is Aaron Rodgers throwing to?
It doesn't matter who he
into
throws to.
No, it matters.
It doesn't
Christian
matter.
Watson, I guess.
It
It
matters.
does not matter.
I don't know,
Aaron
man.
Rodgers has got by his entire career throwing to no-name wide receivers and getting those no-name wide receivers to 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, I get that, but it's just...
It does not matter who Aaron Rodgers throw to. They're still going to be good.
Dude, I think I might have the Vikings. Call me crazy.
You're crazy. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening, but
Yeah, I think Papa Cafone's a Viking fan.
Still got Robert Tonyan over there. I mean, okay, the wide receiving core is like, they signed Sammy Watkins. They drafted Christian Watson. They have Lazard. So the wide receiver core is their shaky part. The offensive line is still really good.
Mm-hmm.
The defense, they have Jair Alexander. Come on. Kenny Clark, Devondre Campbell.
Here's the thing, though. Actually, I want to say something real quick. We discredited the Lions too quickly.
Nope.
I think the Lions are going to make improvements this year.
Can I be honest with you? The only quarterback I hate more than
But-
Jimmy Garoppolo is Jared Goff.
But here's the thing. Jared Goff will probably be one stopgap. This is probably his last year in Detroit. Detroit's going to go after a quarterback next year in the draft.
As they should.
And if they get a good, solid young quarterback, they could be.
But
a team
here's the
that-
problem.
They could probably take that division from the Packers.
But here's the problem. They are rocking with Jared Goff right now, and that's the issue.
Oh, my
I
dad!
rest
My
my
dad
case.
texted me. I'm listening. Vikings are winning the division.
I'm rocking with Papa Cafone right now, and I think that the Vikings can pull it off. Listen, nobody gives him enough credit, but what's his name had a really good season.
Justin
Kid-
Jefferson?
No, dude, help me out here. The quarterback,
Kirk
Cousins.
Cousins.
Thank
Kirk.
you,
Captain Kirk.
dude. Cousins. I mean, like his touchdown to interception ratio was phenomenal last year. We don't give him enough credit. You know, we're so busy on hyping up Aaron Rodgers and all this stuff when the fact of the matter is this. Aaron Rodgers is a great talent, but does he get the job done outside of the one big soup?
What about Kirk Cousins? He went into a big soup.
But
Can't
that's what
even-
I'm saying, though. Is that like at least he has weapons, dude. He's got Justin Jefferson. He still has Thielen's still there.
Yeah, Thielens getting up there though.
You know,
in age.
Irv Smith and Dalvin
Cook's still
Cook.
there.
Irv Smith's got to be on the field though. He's been hurt. He was hurt last year.
Yeah, but I'm rocking with I'm rocking with Papa Cafone.
They don't have an offensive line. Jesse Davis is their starting right guard. He was the Dolphins' weakest link, and that
How
says
does
something.
He always related like it's like everybody and their mother has played for the Dolphins, and whatever team we talk about, Connor finds a way to pick that guy out and be like, because of what he did in Miami, this is not going to work out. As if Miami's a great organization.
They don't have the rest of an offensive line. They have no center. They have no right tackle,
But
no
here's
right
the thing,
guard.
though. Whoever the Dolphins send out of Miami is usually pretty good.
Yeah,
That's not
Laramie
true.
Tunsil, Minka Fitzpatrick. They always leave.
Those two are different. That's way different. That was trade packages. They
yeah,
got
whoever's
assets in
out,
return.
whoever goes out, usually works.
Jesse Davis is not working.
We'll
Did
see.
And also, don't
watch the
forget the
Vikings?
Vikings also got what's his name? Darius Smith in free agency too. It's another good guy to put on their defense.
Zadarius
Yeah,
Smith.
my hot take of the day is that Aaron Rodgers is not winning this division.
I'm just saying, Darius Smith pairing him up with Daniil Hunter could be a pretty good pass rush.
They have Dalvin Tomlinson also.
But I'm sorry, Dad. I'm still taking the Packers just because once
I'm
Aaron,
still doing
Aaron
that too.
Rodgers is still there. I'm just saying, Aaron
I'm
Rodgers is still
taking the
there.
Packers too as well.
Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers is still there.
All right, and moving down to the NFC
West.
South.
Oh, South. Forgot we did that.
NFC South.
Bucks.
It's not even a question.
I think the Saints will be all right. They're not. I think the Bucks run away with that division. Not
I
really.
think the
Carolina's probably gonna get them one overall.
Tom Brady's still there, so yeah.
No,
Tampa
I'm
Bay.
rocking with the Bucks. I'm interested to see
Where
what
the
happens
Saints-
with the Falcons. To be honest with you.
pick. Well, if Mariota's starting,
Mariota, no Calvin Ridley. No Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I forgot about the
Mariota.
gambling scandal.
it's Kyle Pitts. The
Dude,
only
that
guy in
Falcons
that
team-
Dude,
offense.
he would have caught a schmuck of the week so fast for gambling, making that much money. Calvin Ridley's got to be kidding me. The fact that he's not playing this season.
Dude, they can have the first overall pick. That's how bad that Falcons team can
I
be.
think,
They can have the
I
first
think,
overall
I think
pick.
Carolina's
Yeah,
worse.
but I'm gonna be honest with you. Unless Carolina picks up a quarterback, I mean, I'd rather have Mariota than whoever Carolina's rocking
I
with.
agree with that.
I-
but
and
Carolina
I-
has the weapons outside of the quarterback position.
What Mazz usually says about Isaiah Thomas, I say about Marcus Mariota. He deserves another chance as a starting quarterback. He got booted away. He had
Time
two
out.
playoff appearances.
Time out. Marcus Mariota has never played to the level that little Isaiah Thomas did with the Boston
What are you
Celtics.
talking
that-
about?
That year with the Boston Celtics.
Mariota was in the top 3 in MVP voting
That's
one year.
what-
When was this?
2017.
Really?
Week 15, Mariota was in like second in the MVP voting by Derek
I-
Carr.
I-
Listen,
am
all I'm
struggling.
saying is that little Isaiah Thomas put up 28.7 points a game. He's 5'9" for crying out loud. All right, it is the greatest performance I've seen in a while out of a point guard that is under 6 foot. All right, the last guy that had us hyped up was probably Allen Iverson at that height, to be honest with you. And I mean, Iverson was listed at 6 foot, but we all know he was a little shorter.
Marcus Mariota in 2016. Ready for this?
Yep.
15 games, 3,426 yards, 26 touchdowns to 9 picks.
I feel like that's fake. That's fake news. I don't believe this.
He was a good starting quarterback, and he was almost an MVP.
I'm going to defer this to Ant here because Connor, we're schmucks for not knowing this. But if anybody ever told you that Marcus Mariota ever accomplished that, would you believe that?
He wasn't even a Pro Bowler that year.
But I'm telling you, he's shown flashes of being a great quarterback. He deserves another chance.
No. The Titans system shown flashes of being great. Okay, they continue to show flashes of being great when they had Ryan Tannehill. They were playing their best football when Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback.
Marcus Mariota made like a 20-point comeback in the playoffs against Kansas City when Alex Smith was there.
I'm just saying.
Marcus Mariota is a good quarterback, and he deserves a second chance.
He's
at
a
being
good quarterback for a backup.
No, he's not. He's a starting quarterback in the NFL. If Carson Wentz and Jimmy Garoppolo can be starting quarterbacks in the NFL, Marcus Mariota can be too.
I'll take Mariota over Jimmy Garoppolo any day of the week. But I'm gonna be honest. I'd take Connor over Jimmy Garoppolo.
I appreciate that.
You know, Connor's a former track star. At least I know he can run and get out of the pocket when he's thrown. I think Connor could throw a ball on the run better than Jimmy Garoppolo did in the playoffs last year with that awful interception. That was the time, the make or break. Jimmy Garoppolo could take the bull by the horns, and he lets them down. What else is new? That's what Jimmy G do.
One final division, the
West.
NFC West with the big game.
Today, Junior.
The only team that I know is going to be bad in that division is
Seattle.
Seattle's going to be in last place.
I love finishing y'all sentences for you.
You gotta definitely
Rams.
rock with the Rams.
I'm taking San Fran.
Don't.
I'm taking San Fran. I gotta disagree with you once.
I'm rocking with the Rams.
San Fran.
Anybody that thinks it's the Cardinals is delusional.
No, it's not them.
I don't know if the Rams are gonna run it back all the way, but they got better.
Replaced
They got
Odell with
Allen
Allen Robinson.
Okay.
They signed Von.
No,
I completely flipped
no,
that one.
Miller's
Von
up
Miller
in
left to the
Buffalo.
Bills.
Yep.
Buffalo.
Yep.
Thank you.
Don't know why I thought that was the case, but you know what? Things happen.
Aaron Donald's back, right?
Yep.
So I'm rocking with it. They got the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Trey Lance is going to make a second-year jump.
You know what? Trey Lance will be the starter by week 8.
I forgot they
Week
got Bobby
4.
Wagner.
Yeah,
I forgot,
might
I
be.
forgot the Rams got Bobby Wagner.
That's who you're thinking of. You were thinking of
Probably
Von
was-
Miller, but you got Bobby
Dude,
Wagner mixed up.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'd probably rather have Bobby Wagner than Von Miller at this point.
Well, yeah, Von Miller's, 35?
Yeah, but Bobby Wagner is still... I don't even know how Seattle let him just go.
Him and Russ in one off season. That's how you knew.
That's how you clear up a lot of money, but they haven't done nothing with the money.
Baker to Seattle. It's coming.
I don't think it's coming, to be honest with you. I think
He's just gonna
Carolina...
sit on the bench.
I'm with Carolina. Carolina's got to... They got to make the move. You know, they got to pull the lever already. And what are you doing if you're the Panthers, man? I mean, I understand why the Browns would want to sit on him, but if I'm Baker, I'm refusing to play. Said it day in and day out. I don't even know. This NFL season
Hasn't even started.
It's already just a giant tornado of I have no clue what's going to happen, to be honest with you. Like, usually there's some favorites going into it. I think there's a lot of teams. I'm not sold on the Rams necessarily running it back.
All right.
Bills.
All right. 1 seeds in each conference. Bills, I think, in the AFC. In the NFC, I think the number 1 seed is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Dude, I'm with you. I'm especially on the Bucks.
Especially on that division,
Dude,
too.
I think the Bucks are my favorites to win it all. The entire way. I am sold on the Bucks. Even with, listen, Gronk's coming back this season. I'm calling it right now. Gronk's going to start getting a little itchy around like week 9, week 10. Boom, he's coming back. Tom, I just need some time to party, get my mind right, you know. And hey, let's get another ring and show Bill Belichick that we don't need him, that you're just as good without him because you have all the weapons around him. this is it. I'm sold on the Bucks, man. I would like to see the defense get better, but Sue's out, but they just brought in, help me out here, from Chicago.
Akeem Hicks?
Yes. So it's not like a bad replacement for him.
It's probably better because he's younger.
Yeah, and Bruce Arians isn't the coach anymore.
It's Todd Bowles. And we saw what Todd Bowles did in New York, man.
But he's got Tom Brady now.
That's different.
Yeah,
That's
Tom
true.
Brady's the coach.
So and here's
Tom Brady's the coach right now.
So here's the thing. This is essentially how I feel that team is working. Todd Bowles is the head coach, but he is a good defensive coordinator. Okay? He's just going to run the defense, give the reins to Tom Brady on offense. Boom, I like the recipe for success. Let's make it happen.
The Bills.
The Bills. Here's the thing, though. The Bills are the 1 seed, but are they going to get to the big soup?
I don't know.
I'm sold.
I'm sold on Josh Allen along with everybody else.
But the Bengals have shown that they're clutch.
Not even
The
that.
entire last playoffs was clutch. Every single game was decided on the last
And
play of
the
the game.
Chargers, too.
Chiefs
Chiefs had the experience. The Chargers have probably the best defense and probably one of the better quarterbacks in football. Then you also factor in, like...
I really wanted to see the Bills bring in a wide receiver. I'm sure they drafted one.
I mean, yes, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, but
And Gabriel Davis.
Yes, but here's the
Gabriel
problem.
Davis.
But here's the problem. What did Stephon Diggs do besides be a decoy and catch a 2-point conversion in that game against the Chiefs?
Did it really matter? They were still scoring points.
You needed him to step up. I think that was the
Gabriel
problem.
Davis had 4 touchdowns on and 250 yards receiving. They didn't need Stephon Diggs in that game.
Dude, I think that was... Yes, they did. Because
that was their whole game plan. They didn't need Stephon Diggs.
No, they needed it, dude. I think that's the difference maker. I think...
You know what the difference maker was? Their defense not getting a stop. That was the difference maker.
No, I also agree with that there. But you also need Stephon... Like, if they would have been able to open up like that field more... Because, dude, all they were doing was just basically just answering Kansas City, right? And they were doing it with big days of Gabriel Davis.
You know what they needed to do? Their defense needed to make a stop in 13 seconds.
Yes, but
that's what they needed to do.
But do you think that they could have just keep on going to Gabriel Davis and that was going to win them the game?
Yes.
I don't know.
They should have. They should have won that game. The defense folded.
Yes,
Stephon Diggs was not the problem in that game.
I don't know, dude. When you're that level of player, you can't come out like that. I'm not saying he's the biggest problem.
If you're getting double teamed, then yes. You go to the secondary option. That's football. That's the game.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. The Bills...
In basketball, if Katie's getting double teamed and Kyrie's wide open, you give the ball to Kyrie every time down the floor.
I think I still might have Katie shoot the ball, you know? But here's the thing. I'm not so... I want to see the Bills get it done. My old man is a Bills fan. He saw the 4 in a row go down the drain.
So he deserves this.
But they're the Bills, and I don't think that they're going to get the job done, man. It just...
The Eagles figured it out eventually.
Yeah, that's fine, but they're not the Bills. They didn't go to 4 straight.
The Patriots were one of the most painful franchises in football before they
definitely
won
figured it out.
4-7.
Yeah, fellas, I don't know. It's...
Or 4-6.
I'm so enticed by Josh Allen. However, I just don't think they made enough moves. And why would they? Who wants to go to Buffalo? It's freezing cold.
Listen,
right.
it's freezing cold in Colorado, too. They
Yeah, but
still
there's-
won a Stanley Cup.
But it's hockey. Listen, hockey's supposed to be cold.
Time out. Also, Denver's a much more appealing city than Buffalo is. Yeah.
Buffalo, what do you got? Chicken wings? That's it.
I've heard they're good for... I've heard they got really good wings. That's it. You got Niagara Falls. That's it. Like, you could see Niagara Falls from Buffalo, I'm pretty sure. I know that.
Quick
I
trip to
know that they're
Toronto.
over in Canada, you know, like... There was talks of them going to Toronto for a little bit.
The two businesses that are good in Buffalo, chicken wing places and fold-out table manufacturers.
Fold-out table manufacturers.
Dude, the fold-out table manufacturer business got to be booming with the Bills Mafia up there. Just, I love whatever. Like, have you guys seen like the videos of like the newborn kids like being put through like tables softly? You know, they got like little mini tables. Like, it's fantastic. They're wild up there. Great fan base.
Yeah.
But if you're a free agent, do you want to go to Buffalo?
Yeah.
If Josh Allen's
Von
there?
Miller just did it.
Josh Allen's there?
I don't know, dude.
Von Miller just
I can think
did
of a
it.
lot of other places that you'd rather be. I think you'd rather be in Kansas City right now if you're a free agent.
Yeah, open spots.
Thank you.
But no.
Okay. So what are we just gonna you have
Kansas City, it's cold too.
I understand that, but it's definiting there's a lot more stuff to do in Kansas City than there is in Buffalo. I imagine.
Is there?
I would imagine. They got great
What's there to do in Kansas City?
barbecue.
So
More-
pretty
they
much your answer to Buffalo not only having things but chicken wings, but the Kansas City all they have
Hold on,
is
dude.
barbecue.
Time out. You're hitting me with buffalo wings. I just hit you with like brisket, pork ribs, I'm definitely missing out on some other barbecue stuff because I don't really like barbecue like that. But like, hey, there's some stuff that you can do.
Mazz relating sports talk.
Dude,
No better way to do it.
it's the most important thing in life is food, dude. All right, without food, you don't got life.
That's true. That is true.
Thank you. So here we are. I think we anything else that we missed in
We
NFL
definitely rode that out to the end.
All right, I think that's our NFL conversation
All right.
there.
When we come back, some baseball talk, and then the Avalanche getting the job done and Mazz's prediction going right down the drain. Stay with us, and we'll get Mazz's reaction.
I can't stand you.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Ant and Mazz in the midday here. We got about 20 minutes left. We're going to have some baseball talk. But first,
Before we get into that, what was that song?
chicken tenders.
He literally just said, "Girl, you know how itchy my back is," and I felt that on a whole nother level.
I can't scratch it. Need back scratch.
Dude, I'm serious. When you are on the larger side of life of me and being short and stubby, it's kind of hard to get to some of those places, man. But speaking of hard to get places, the Boston Red Sox in Toronto and their starting closer
Taylor Hawk.
couldn't even make it into
So he's
the situation.
I just needed to talk about this real quick because being a Yankee fan and hearing this brightened my day.
Right in my day.
So their closer Taylor Hawk is unvaccinated. So and the rules right now is if you're going to Canada, like so playing the Toronto Blue Jays, if you're unvaccinated, you can't play. You can't travel with the team if you can't get into Canada without a vaccination. So he couldn't go. And last night the Boston Red Sox were playing the Blue Jays, up 5-4 in the bottom of the ninth inning. They bring in a closer who's not Taylor, who's not their starting closer, and he blows the game. And now Red Sox fans are all going up in a tizzy, and they're all mad because they couldn't have their starting closer pitch in a game where they should have been he should have been pitching in. And now it's just funny because now these Red Sox fans are on this guy, and the Red Sox are now 12 games out of first place.
Did you just say a tizzy?
Up in a tizzy, yeah.
Okay. Fair. Here's the thing. I don't even know how to feel about this. I mean, if the guy doesn't want to get vaccinated, he doesn't get vaccinated. It is what it is. But, interesting. I feel like it's kind of like weird that they're making that as like a requirement to enter like the country, I guess. I don't know, man, because now you're dealing with like political reasonings, and it's baseball,
Now, one thing that does confuse me, though, is that how just Canada works in general?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
you can't get into the country
without the vaccination,
So-
which is fair. But if you're the Blue Jays, right, like, wouldn't it have made more sense to just like spend another season in Buffalo until things like kind of like calm down?
But one more thing, then, with the Stanley Cup,
So did everybody on the Jays have to get vaccinated?
that's
Yeah.
one thing. And another
So
thing,
what if they didn't want to get vaccinated though?
Then you're not playing.
look
Fair.
at the Stanley Cup playoffs a couple years ago and all this. So how the season worked was they had a Canadian division with all the Canada teams. So none of them played any teams from America. But when the playoffs came around, then they started playing games.
I feel like they should always have a Canadian division.
Regardless.
For the Canadian division.
Regardless, does that mean the entire Lightning roster was vaccinated and the entire Golden Knights roster was vaccinated, the entire Islanders roster was vaccinated back then? If that's the case?
I don't know. It's a weird situation. We're at a point where I'm not fighting this fight anymore. It's either you got vaccinated or not. I am. Okay?
Same.
Like,
I am.
most people are on campus. If you're not, that's your choice. It is what it is. These are the consequences that, like, you deal with, though. And if I'm Boston, I'm not necessarily... I don't know if I'm mad, necessarily, at, like, the guy. Like,
The
it is
fans
what
are
it
mad.
is. Half those Boston fans aren't even vaccinated, I bet. Okay? We're
I
yelling
agree
at
with
a
it.
guy for not being vaccinated, and I'd like to think that just knowing the Boston fan base, that half of them probably aren't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
awesome.
how can you be mad at a guy for something that you're probably not even doing? But it is what it is. It is also one game.
Yeah. They're still 7-3 in their last 10.
And there's still 13 games out
behind.
of first place.
So there's so many more reasons to why Boston is not where they want to be,
They got to a
other
slow
than the
start.
guy not being vaccinated.
they got
Okay.
to a slow start.
And the Yankees are
their offense, Boston Red Sox offense is probably top 5 in baseball right now.
Yeah, the problem
with
is
Rafi
their
Devers and JD Martinez in the middle of that offense, they have probably the best hitting power right now in baseball. Pitching though, different story.
Completely different story.
Their starting pitching is probably on the lower end of baseball.
Dude,
right
as
now.
we said this before, like when Evaldi's your best guy, you got a problem.
Nick Pavetta's pretty solid too, but yeah.
Pavetta's probably been their best right now so far this season.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying in terms of just name power.
Yeah.
Like going into the season, that's what I'm talking about. So that's their problem.
And also Michael Walker too. Michael Walker
has been very good.
Very impressive this year.
But
he might get an all-star appearance. Who knows?
55 wins and 20 losses for your New York Yankees. Are they reaching 80 wins or 30 losses first?
Dude, they hit under 100 in a 4-game series with the Houston Astros and still won 2 of the games.
And got no-noted in one of them.
So, if you told me the Yankees would hit under 100 in 4 games against the Houston Astros, I thought we got swept. It just shows that they win in different ways, and they can continue to keep winning despite them not playing great.
They're playing small ball.
They are playing championship baseball.
They're not waiting for the home run anymore.
They're still kind of waiting for it. They still lead the league in homers.
But they can score. They don't have to
they're sitting
hit a
at
home run.
They're sitting at 124 team home runs, which is by far the most in baseball. I think the next closest team is in the 80s.
Okay, that's a way to put it.
It's crazy right now how much they're just because Aaron Judge is hitting homers, Anthony Rizzo's hitting homers, Giancarlo Stanton's hitting homers, even Gleyber Torres is hitting homers, but he might be looking at an IL stint because he twisted his ankle on Sunday. We're still waiting on that, but just their pitching prowess. Their pitching has been going down a little bit as of late. I think Nestor Cortes is starting to get figured out a little bit as of late. His last 4 starts have been not great. Tyone's had a few hiccups. Montgomery as well. But Garrett Cole's quickly becoming...
He's back up?
He's back to do his ace stuff again as well. So the Yankees continue to just keep riding this train. They're playing actually the Oakland A's right now at 1 o'clock.
So the best team versus the worst team.
Yeah.
I actually think that playing the Astros...
And they're losing.
Yeah, it happens. But playing the Astros is exactly what they needed because now you saw a team that got tested to the fullest and they came out with 50 with a split, So it's the Yankees are such
by the way, Judge homered in this game already.
Dude,
the bases are loaded.
Just blank check him already, man. I know they got the deal done for 19, which I'm pretty sure is what they offered him at the beginning of the season. He didn't take it, but
yeah.
Anyway, the deal got done, thankfully, so we don't have to think about that the rest of the season. But I don't know, man. I mean, if Judge walks, no matter what happens this season, if Judge walks, and especially if he ends up on the Mets, I will never forgive the Yankees.
He's not going to go to the Mets. He's probably going to go to San Fran if he doesn't go to...
You don't know that.
If he doesn't re-sign with New York, he is going to the Giants.
Why wouldn't he want to go to the Mets?
Because he's from San Francisco.
That's okay, but he's been living in New York. It's also, to me... Playing for the Mets.
San Fran's going to give him the money. The Mets aren't going to give him the money.
I disagree.
I'm telling you, Steve Cohen's already said he's not going to pass the offer the Yankees give him.
Shenanigans.
I'm telling you right now, the Mets are not going to pay him more than the Yankees are going to pay him.
I just think the Yankees need to get the deal done, so that's not even.
I think it's going to be. If it's not the Yankees, it's going to be the Giants.
How do you feel, Connor?
About where he's going to go, or about him possibly being with the Mets?
What do you think of the possibilities of Judge being a Met if the Yankees don't give him the money that he feels
that's just a nightmare waiting to happen. I hope that doesn't happen.
But what do you think the likelihood is? Because Ant's kind of writing it off like this is never going to happen. How do you feel?
There has to be there's a cap at the money somewhere. It's somewhere with Lindor already on the books, with Marte already on the books. DeGrom about to be on the books.
I'm hearing DeGrom's most likely going to walk.
No way. I think they're going to sign him before they sign...
DeGrom saying he's going to be unrestricted next year.
I think they'll sign him before they sign Judge.
DeGrom's going to be a sweepstakes.
Absolutely. Every team will just fork over
DeGrom might get
money.
$50 million a year.
Oh.
Getting that damn Lillard money.
That's what I'm saying.
Dame Lillard money.
Bauer got $40 million. DeGrom is way better than Bauer.
Yeah.
All this talk about the team that's going to finish second in the NL East.
Look at this kid. He's so confident about that.
Would you stop it already?
Listen, this is my take, and the Braves are 4 games back.
And speaking of the Braves,
they're 4 games back.
Speaking of the Braves, a certain Freddie Freeman
made
his way back to Atlanta over the weekend.
There's no problem with it, man.
And it was a bit of an emotional return for him.
As it should be.
Yeah.
He played there for 14 seasons, won a World Series with them. He was the face of the franchise for a long time there. Won an MVP with them. And rightfully so, he was a little emotional.
Well, not rightfully so if you're the Dodgers.
Yeah, he was crying in the press conference. He was crying on the mound. He got standing ovation and all that.
What's the issue?
And apparently, some of the Dodgers team members didn't like that. They were saying that he's not all in on the Dodgers right now. He's still feeling ways about the
Oh,
Braves.
yeah.
Why wouldn't you? You just got there. You spent 14 seasons.
They said that the Dodgers are probably the best team in the NL right now, and that he should be complacent being with them. Clayton Kershaw says he hopes that Freddie Freeman can be attached to the Dodgers like he was to the Braves.
That is a ridiculous request. That is a ridiculous request for a guy that just got there after spending his whole career somewhere and winning his first championship, and he just got the ring last night.
Dude, it literally, it's not like he got this ring years ago.
Just
14 years, and it just happened. Yeah, we want you to buy into the Dodgers the way that you bought into. Atlanta rocked with him for 14 seasons.
It literally just
and they
happens-
got the job done.
He just won a World Series 7 months ago.
Yeah, you know what it is? The Dodgers are just salty because they're not getting the job done with all the money that they're spending. So.
And the only ring that they got was a Mickey Mouse ring.
They have the same amount of wins as the Padres right now. Look at it that way.
Exactly. And they probably have the best pitching staff in baseball.
Wait till Tatis comes back. Watch the Padres take the NL West.
And Machado's not even playing right now.
There you go.
That's another.
They're still keeping pace with the Dodgers without their 2 best hitters.
That's a problem.
It's
Yeah, I'm changing my take. I said the Dodgers were going to take the NL West.
I think we all said they were, but
I mean, you know what? Let's change it
Dude,
up.
the Dodgers got
Padres
swept-
are coming.
the Dodgers got swept by the Pirates 2
here's
weeks
the thing,
ago.
though. Here's the thing, though, right? You're out here pointing fingers at Freddie Freeman. When the Padres are keeping pace with you, you guys got bigger problems here. Oh, he's not emotionally as connected. Why would he be? Makes no sense. It seems
Still
like
learning
they're
the
just-
clubhouse.
It seems like they're just trying to grasp at anything because they're not happy with where they're at.
I mean,
agree
it's
with
still
you.
first place in their division, and they're still like top 2 in the entire NL. But I guess that's not good enough for them.
No, I'm sure they.
I mean, they have higher aspirations, man. They're the Dodgers.
They are
The
the
Giants are only 5 games back too, so they got 2 teams.
The Dodgers have the
exactly
highest
what I'm
winning.
talking about.
So they have the highest winning percentage in baseball over the last 7 years.
You know, dude. When you think about teams, all over sports, right? There's certain teams that if it's not a championship, it's a bust.
Yeah,
The Lakers are one of those teams.
they won.
Any
Okay.
team in LA right now,
What's up?
any team in Los Angeles right now is like that
Currently,
currently.
fair.
Kings.
Historically,
The
no.
Rams, the Chargers,
Yeah.
the Dodgers. I'll leave out the Angels, but
Nah, maybe
They're
even the
Anaheim.
Angels.
Lakers,
They're not-
Lakers and Clippers too.
But that's what I'm talking about. It's just but even historically, when you look at teams, no matter what state the team's in, it doesn't matter if you make the playoffs. If you're a Lakers fan, if you're in the Lakers organization, you expect championships. Same thing with the Yankees. You expect championships. It's okay. We're not gonna make it all the way. We might not even make the playoffs this season. How do we get back? That's all that matters because it's not a win if we even made the playoffs. Nobody cares. Even when we had the baby bombers there with Sanchez and Girardi getting that young team there,
2017,
losing.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It was okay. They got this far, and it still wasn't good enough. That's the mentality, and that's a great mentality to have. The Dodgers are among that pedigree, I would say. So it doesn't matter if they're the number 1 team because they should have an even farther gap between them than those teams. They should be looking like the favorites, and they're not because the Yankees are a thing. Even though that with the moves that they made heading into the season, we all thought that the Dodgers were going to be the number 1 team in baseball, and they're not. So yeah, they have higher aspirations as they should. Can't complain with that. But Freddie Freeman's not your problem.
Exactly. Freddie Freeman's been one of the top 5 first basemen in baseball this year. So he's doing his job.
So we got emotional 1 game. Congratulations. Oh, when we play the Braves, he's not with us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, the guy's going to go out there and do his job. Here's my question. How'd he hit against him?
He did pretty well.
Thank you. So what are you complaining about?
He tied the game in the Sunday Night Baseball game and sent it to extras, and they won the game.
Okay, so what are you complaining about? It's not like this guy went out there and had an awful performance, and he's not he got a little choked up because I'm sure he's got some memories. He's got a standing ovation from a place that's near and dear to his heart.
And Kershaw, if you were playing in Atlanta and you came to LA for a weekend, you'd be emotional too.
Probably.
Because he made his name as a Dodger.
Yeah, so that's what it's coming down to. It makes no sense that's how can you be like, oh, this guy's not all in, especially when he just sent you to extras.
And also, Freeman fired his agents after this whole Atlanta debacle.
So break that down for us, Ant.
So originally, he wanted to stay in Atlanta because he spent his entire career there, and his agents were kind of asking for a lot of too much. That the Braves went right away from Freddie after that. Went right straight to Matt Olson. Said, Matt Olson, give us your best offer. Took it and said bye Freddie. And Freddie was like, part of the reason why he got into LA was because his management kind of dropped the ball on his negotiations. So he said, all right, I'm done with you guys.
Olson was there before Freeman was even gone. Freddie was still on the Braves roster, and Olson was also first on the Braves roster before Freeman was even gone.
So here's my question to you guys, right? Should Freeman have pulled a Lamar Jackson?
And been his own agent?
Should he have made... I mean, I would be more comfortable with Freeman making his negotiations.
Looking back on it, yeah.
With the Braves more so than Lamar with Baltimore for the sole fact of he has the history there.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
All right,
that's
Lamar,
way different, yeah.
Lamar is the Ravens right now, but
Freddie
what's he been there, like 4 years?
Yeah, like
Freddie,
4 years.
Chipper Jones left, Freddie came in.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was for the Braves.
So I don't know, especially when you're dealing with an organization that you have the established history with. I don't know, maybe he should have made his own call sooner.
And, so Freddie Freeman and the Dodgers have a little bit of a tenuous relationship. But moving on, Stanley Cup final.
Oh, God, here we go.
The Colorado Avalanche.
Let me be the first one to say it was a nice long run of being right, of who's coming out on top of series. And all good things must come to an end. And here I am, sitting in front of... Don't even get me started, Mr. Jumping Ship midway when things start looking bad. How dare you? All right,
Colorado Avalanche.
This is your take that I ran with. I'm more loyal to your take than you are. Just jumping sides. Nice to see you. Connor Coopin got one right. As a Florida Panthers fan, he doesn't have to go through the turmoil that is the Lightning winning another Stanley Cup.
Blessed.
Hey, they almost got the job done. It is what it is.
Yeah, they lost in 6 games after being down, 3-1?
Yep.
Yeah, they almost got it done.
Almost got it done. What are you laughing about? This was your original take, and you jumped sides. You abandoned the ship before it even started sinking. Okay, come on, man.
Because I saw the writing on the wall. You refuse to see it.
I refuse to see it. They just beat the Rangers after going down as many games as they did. They got the 2 Stanley Cups the year before. They were looking good. And even that game one, even the first game against the Avalanche and went into overtime, they played better when they were at the disadvantage on the power play. The second they get the guy back, boom, the goal comes, which was mind-boggling to me. But hey, sometimes lemonade and some days nothing, right? I don't know what the
can't make lemons that lemonade. That's
they had the lemons and they just couldn't squeeze the juice out of it one more time, and it is what it is.
The Avs won 22 games 5 years ago. To say that they won the Stanley Cup now is incredible. The definition of a successful rebuild from start to finish. Because the 3 years before this one, they were second round exit, second round exit, second round exit.
In these playoffs, they only lost 4 games.
Yes.
But who'd they play?
Nashville. Edmonton.
I don't want to hear Edmonton.
Nashville, St. Louis, Edmonton, and Tampa.
Fair.
St. Louis won the Stanley Cup 3 years ago.
They did. And to be fair, St. Louis did win 2 games against them, but they swept Nashville. And Edmonton destroyed Calgary. They took them in 5 games, and then they get swept.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. This was a great run by this Colorado Avalanche team.
But I'm telling you right now, I think the Lightning are going to be back next season too.
This Avs team is like that 2019 Raptors team.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Do you think you have...
Oh, they can do it again?
Can they do it again?
Or
if you had to dip into the savings a little bit, are you more confident in the Lightning ending up back in the Stanley Cup Finals or the Avalanche?
No, that one I will give you the Lightning.
Thank you.
But
hey,
it's okay.
Listen,
it's okay.
2 out of 3 years ain't bad. Sometimes you just can't get the job done. I was wrong, but it's okay because luckily the Warriors came through. The Lightning came through against the Rangers, and it was a nice run. Okay, it happens.
Yeah,
here we are.
The Avalanche are your 2022 Stanley Cup champions.
And Connor was the only one that was saying that before these playoffs started.
Yeah, Connor, that was
Shout
a
out
great
Connor.
take. Good job, man.
Can you hit a boo for me real quick?
Yep, I will hit you.
Just hit me the boo real quick.
I'll hit you a bonk real quick.
No, I need a boo if you got it.
Oh. Crowd vote. Here he is. It's a long vote.
That was for Anthony Cafone for Hop and Chip.
And this is for Brandon Marazzo for sticking with the Lightning. There you go.
Happens. I'm sorry I'm loyal to a team that I don't even care about. But here we are coming up on 2 minutes on Ant and Mazz in the midday. Stanley Cup champions going over there to the Avalanche.
Final aspect for the show, Schmuck of the Week.
Yes. And our Schmuck of the Week. And, you know, we've had some instances where I could have took this a couple of ways, to be honest with you. But I think there's only one person that absolutely deserved the Schmuck of the Week. A nice young up-and-comer, recently drafted by the Indiana Pacers. I never thought I'd be giving this to a rookie like that was taken by like the Pacers this year, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, who cares? I'm sure he'll be all right. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I don't even know who I'm talking about right now.
Benedict Mathurin.
Thank you. What was that again?
Benedict Mathurin out of Arizona.
Thank you. Benedict Mathurin said, and I quote, LeBron James got to prove to me that he's better than me. I don't believe anybody's better than me. I love the confidence.
Yeah.
Dude, you haven't even played a summer league game, and you're already saying LeBron? Listen, LeBron, who's got how many four championships? I think
5 MVPs.
5 MVPs.
4.
It is 4. It is 4 MVPs and 4 championships. Almost positive.
Okay.
4. Anyway, almost won the scoring title
this season.
This season, being at an age where guys aren't even sniffing the league anymore. And he's got to prove to you, dude, if you accomplish one thing that LeBron has done in his career, you can consider it successful for an average player. What have you done, man? What are you going to do? You can't be sitting there putting yourself here at 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, and Mazz in the midday, and top of the hour real quick. Sorry about that. How dare you compare yourself to basketball royalty? I'm not a LeBron James guy. I only root for him because he's on the Lakers. I prefer Kobe. I prefer Mike. But how dare you come for one of the GOATs like this? This kid has got to be out of his mind. And quite frankly, I respect the confidence, but don't get ahead of yourself, kid. You're just setting yourself up for failure.
Say like Ja Morant's gotta show me why,
dude,
he's better than me. Don't say LeBron James, because LeBron James is a legend.
That's
Ja Morant's still like an up-and-coming star.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Like that. You don't sit there and be like, you just put yourself up there with a legend. This is almost giving me... You guys remember when LeVar Ball was just hyping up his son and, like, you know, Lonzo wasn't even doing the talking and was getting a target on his back because of his father?
This guy's got a target.
This kid just put a target on his back for absolutely no reason. All you had to say was, I'm confident in my abilities. If he said, I believe I'm the best rookie, no problem. You just came at a guy who's a sure Hall of Famer and said, he's got to prove to me that he's better than I am. Dude, you haven't done anything. We don't even know if you're going to do anything. You're on Indiana. Congratulations. You played yourself. Fellas. Benedict, get some help.
Congratulations. You're Schmuck of the Week. And also, real quick, you get one of these as well.
You love the boink. And that's it. We're giving out boinks to somebody that we might not ever hear of again after this season. It is what it is.
So thank you guys for listening once again. Ant Mazz in the Midday, June 29th, 2022. Anthony Cafone, Brandon Marazzo, Connor Cupin. What a show, guys.
AKA
your auntie favorite sports show.
Thank you.
Come on.
Now hit me with 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Woo!
We'll catch you next week.
Catch you next week, guys. Peace.